crack baby.
It would alter your DNA doing crack?
I heard you also can't get pregnant in a hot tub, so.
I'm not brave enough to test that one. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hair of the Dogcast, your favorite Dogcast podcast about beer and video games and beer.
And Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, well, you're going to hear a little bit about it. I'm going to keep it as brief as possible.
All right.
I
My
might
name
not.
is Tyler. Who else I got here?
Hi, my name is Brad, and I am excited to discuss video games today.
I'm Dylan, and I love Hair of the Dogcast. Happy to be here, guys.
Yeah, we rock.
Oh.
All right. So should we just jump into the news right away?
I don't know, I mean, how you been? You good? You good?
How you
I've been
feeling?
all right.
Are you hungover?
No, I am very tired.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I worked all weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Well,
understand.
today's Sunday. My weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is like the busiest days at the brewery. So
I've had off the past 3 days. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to do whatever the hell I want.
Your brewery still is that doing tournaments every Sunday now with the video games, or like once a month or something?
I think once a month now. Today is the day of recording. The 28th is the 1 year anniversary at Ope, and they are having their anniversary party today. So
Wow.
Okay, everyone will be there. All the owners will be there, shaking hands and smiling with each other.
I don't know. They got some shit going on. I was gonna pop over there because I get beer on the cheap.
It is good to drink on the cheap, but it's also good to drink beers from your friends, and that's why I'm going to let Dylan explain what we have here today.
Because I've been playing so much Breath of the Wild, and we're going... Tears of the Kingdom. I was going to say Breath of the Wild 2, because we got used to saying it for so long.
And it is Breath of the Wild 2 a little
It is
bit.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, if Mario Galaxy 2 would have been like Super Mario Universe or something, that would have made sense. It's the same concept, though.
This one's called Four Giants and the Haze of Destiny. It's by Founders Brewing, and it's an Imperial Hazy IPA. And I just thought it felt very Legend of Zelda. If you just look at the illustrations, like everyone's got like
I
an
could feel that.
attitude. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there are four main sages that give you powers in the game, and I was like, well, okay, well. I was literally just looking for something themed, mildly video gamey.
I will do that too when I walk through.
Yeah.
What's our topics coming up?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like I nailed it on this one, though. So
That one's got a devil on it. That's perfect for the demon episode.
I'm excited for this because All Day IPA is made by Founders, right? The one with the truck on the front.
everyday IPA.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites because
That one is really good.
That's one that I drink all day.
And then if they made it like a triple imperial version, it should be the all goddamn day IPA.
Ooh, that's funky.
It's a delicious beer.
You know what's crazy is we've been talking a lot about how hazy IPAs have become so popular.
Yeah.
I went to Piggly Wiggly. I took a walk there with my wife because we were just hanging out, and we got back from the Oddities Expo and ate a bunch of pork ribs. And then we were just like getting really tired, and we hadn't slept much the night before because we went out with Matt. Shout out to Matt. And
What up, mate?
And we were walking there, and I was just like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see what they've got there." And it's just all like hazy IPAs. Everyone under the sun. I'm just like, can I just get like a milk stout or?
Do you know what drives me crazy is so many people want to drink a hazy IPA on a sunny day. And at first, that sounds great. You crack open a hazy, you sit in the sun.
Sure.
But within about 5 minutes, that beer is generally skunked.
Yeah.
The hazies don't do well in the sun. Pop
You need
open
like a Heffa.
Yeah, a Heffa would be great. Or like a nice cold snap.
Yeah, what you
or
want is
Pilsner.
a Mexican lager is what
Yes.
you want. That is the most refreshing beer to drink out in the sun.
Hell, even a shandy.
Yes.
I like a shandy.
I do too.
Hazies, I don't understand the summer craze.
Or a triple milkshake sour imperial.
I think it makes
sounds
people
horrible.
who generally turn away from IPAs feel a bit more connected to like the craft beer idea. Does that make any sense to you?
No, I'm with
'Cause
you.
it's kind of IPA light. It's a little more drinkable. I think it's more of like, I think it's a beginner's IPA.
Yeah, just suck it up and take the hops.
Oh,
is
I
what
can't believe
gotta
I said that. I sound like a fucking asshole.
I mean, someone's been in the craft beer for a long time when they're drinking lagers. That's when you know, like, all right,
He's come full circle.
they've come full circle and they're like, actually, the simple beer was the best the whole time. there's like that graph, like a bell graph, where it's how much hops you like, and it's right in the middle, and then it just goes right back down.
Would you describe the lager as the friends we made along the way?
Sure. I was looking for something with some hops in it, actually.
So, Gollum.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get it out there right away. This is already one of the worst reviewed games of the year. It's got a 36 on Metacritic, and I don't know. Have you guys looked up anything on it?
I've
Gameplay?
watched probably
seen glitches,
I've probably watched like 30 minutes of people trashing it.
Yeah. Well, this game is so bad that the developer, I'm going to butcher this.
Daedalic.
Daedalic Entertainment has released a statement in response to the ridicule and criticism the game has received online.
This is common, though.
But normally they say, like,
We tried real hard.
we're going to work to patch things and make it better. This is not that kind of statement. Instead, what they said was, we would like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you have had with The Lord of Ring Gollum. That's how it's written. I didn't typo that. Upon its release, we acknowledge and deeply regret that the game did not meet the expectations we set for ourselves or our dedicated community. Please accept our sincerest apologies for any disappointment this may have caused. And then it goes on to say,
P.S. We don't know why we gave him hair like that.
Yeah, he needs to get some like hair plugs or just a toupee.
I saw pictures comparing him to Andrew Tate. Very funny.
Very accurate. Very
I
accurate.
love that.
I mean, one of the reviews I was watching was saying this game is like has all the problems of a very early Xbox 360 game. Like half of it is just following missions, just trailing behind somebody and not getting seen. And it's buggy as all hell. There are things that will just break your mission. Like you have to jump on this like rotating wheel at some point, and for some reason the wheel just disattaches and starts rolling around the whole level, and you can't get to where you're going. Just seeing the design of some of the orcs are baffling at best, and it makes me really want to play this game and check it out.
I'll
wait till it's free, but I just have to see it.
Wait 4 months; it might be $5.
It will be $5.
Yeah, it'll be one of those games. Now, does this have VR support?
No.
This was just a standalone game.
It barely has regular functionality support.
When you think of Lord of the Rings, what characters do you want to play as?
Aragorn.
Everybody's going to want to play as Legolas.
You can do like the dwarves. I mean, a fucking Hobbit game would be great, and you're like, you can level up all your party or something. I don't know, any characters. Gollum is not the one that you think of.
No. And if you think about it, if you are a fan of the Lord of the Rings franchise, you've already seen every big moment from Smeagol/Gollum's life throughout all 6 films.
Well, this is why I don't like prequels in general, really.
Well, this takes place between The Hobbit and...
Yeah.
Because the game opens up with Gandalf interrogating him and letting him go. And then I think it's Gollum trying to figure out, I don't know. He goes to Mordor.
He's just going to run around on all fours. And what's crazy to me is, so the Lord of the Rings, and especially Gollum's storyline in the original trilogy, it's one of the greatest journeys ever told in anything. Like it's a walk. They're just walking. They're walking to Mordor, and a bunch of crazy shit happens along the way. The majority of this game is told through flashbacks and flash forwards, if I'm correct.
I don't know.
And a large portion of it takes place in a prison. So you've kneecapped the adventure. You could, if it was Gollum exploring Middle Earth, then you got something to grab onto. But
he never really leaves the mines or anything. Though.
Okay, you know what you do is you have like Gollum during Fellowship of the Ring could be a cool mission where he's actually trailing the Fellowship.
That would be dope.
Like going through Moria.
Fine.
That's fine, but that's about it. I mean, because he does follow them pretty early.
He spends. After he loses the ring from Bilbo, he spends so much time alone that he actually gets more grotesque than what he was even in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Because in The Hobbit, when he had the ring, he had like some semblance of like, oh, I can eat fish, I can eat like this, I can take care of myself. And he would actually like cook and he would do stuff. He wasn't just like a horrifying creature of like just evil. But after he loses the ring, that's when everything falls apart.
Yeah.
It's just a baffling choice to pick him as your centerpiece for a Lord of the Rings game.
I have a theory on this. I have a theory that soon, like Tolkien, like those books are going to go into the public domain, and they need to have as many examples as they can to take to court to say, hey, let's not make this public domain because we are still using it and it's still a fresh IP.
I think part of the way that works is like you have to wait until like the last thing that was released is in the public domain. So like the first Sherlock Holmes books are in the public domain, but like the last ones aren't yet, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they are still releasing stuff from that world might be helping retain their rights. I do know the Tolkien estate is ready to fucking make some money, and that's why they're like, all right, just do something with it. Just go and make a game. I have heard, though, that even if they fix all the bugs in this game, at best, it will be a bad game because the bones of the game are just not great. And it's, besides being a glitchy mess, like even if it ran perfectly, it would still be an ugly, boring, not fun game.
Do you think that, because this is WB Games, right?
That's probably the publisher.
Okay. Do you think that that's why they gave Rocksteady more time on Suicide Squad? They knew that this was going to be an ultimate tanker.
Maybe. I mean, but this game was also given like a 2-year delay. And
Yeah, it was one of the first games announced for the PlayStation 5 or the next generation of games.
What is going on?
I remember seeing the trailer. I'm like, this is one of the ugliest games I've ever seen. And that's why I joked the other day about it when you were talking Game of the Years. And then the next day, Gollum just started getting horrible reviews. I'm like, this is great. I'm in on this. I did see a great meme, and it was that person like taking all the arrows. So it was Redfall sleeping in the bed, and then Gollum just getting shot to shit. There's still plenty of time. I mean, I think Game of the Year is great. We should also do Turd of the Year or something.
Yeah, actually, I like that.
Yeah.
We could also do Best Worst Game.
Yeah.
We could have a few categories.
The wet fart of the year.
The wet fart of the year. The delicious fart of the year.
Yeah, Gollum got trashed online. Skill Up said, and this is how I'll leave it because I think it's a pretty good description. Skill Up said, Lord of the Rings Gollum is the worst thing I've played this year. In fact, it's the worst game I've played in a long time. So
That has to be saying something.
that's bad.
Is he playing like the My Universe games, like Kindergarten Nurse
Like
or something?
The decision games on your phone where you're constantly in high school.
Yeah.
The little anime characters. You know what I'm talking about?
I love it. Those are great.
My favorite.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah.
So I'm going to pull something out of the PlayStation Showcase because it's not an exclusive and drop it here in the news
Oh, you
segment.
mean the entire showcase, pretty much?
Yeah. But Alan Wake 2 was shown, and although I think this game looks fantastic because I'm a big fan of the original one, it looks
I
like
love Remedy.
they're leaning into the survivor horror aspect.
That's good.
Looks very Resident Evil-y because you have two characters you play as now.
Yeah.
One's like an FBI agent, and then obviously Alan Wake. The FBI agent stuff looks real spooky and awesome. Saw a guy break through a wall. He scared the shit out of me. So I'm down with that. But they did announce that the game is going to be digital only.
What a weird thing.
And
Well, until limited run or premium edition says, well, we'll take it. Like
I don't-
there are people that want to only have physical media.
I think that there's actually... Okay, so Control, when it first came out, their previous game, when it sold physical, it sold like crap physical. And then they immediately had to put those numbers down. I don't know, man. Maybe this is them actually making the decided choice to be like, our fans are just going to... If they're fans of Remedy, they're just going to buy this video game.
yeah,
They're saving a lot of money by not printing anything.
It's true.
they are also keeping the cost of the game at $60. It will not be a $70 title. And they
See-
said this is one of the reasons they're going to release it digitally.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I support
You're
it.
I mean, indie games don't make like physical releases. Why do other companies have to? I appreciate when I can, but to make this game digital only, they're making some very bold and specific choices. One being, can't give it to a friend. Control is a very good video game. It's maybe only 10 hours long.
Yeah. Control was a lot of fun, but I definitely would have grabbed my buddy's copy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
waited till it was super cheap to get it.
Yeah. I waited till it was on sale. Yeah.
I wish we could loan digital games to each other.
We have so many between us.
We haven't seen them out, but we have a good physical selection. And I see what they're doing. I would venture that at some point, Alan Wake 2 will get a physical release from Limited Run or somebody. There's enough indie or like smaller physical publishers that I think it would sell, and people will spend premium money to have a physical copy of this someday, perhaps.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I would like a physical copy of it. It's also one of those games that kind of, I think the Alan Wake on the 360 had a little bit of a cult following now.
Have you played the remaster that they did?
Mm-hmm. I liked it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, good game.
I don't like looking for batteries, but that's it.
This is one of those games, though, that I've been waiting for a very long time. But when I first heard about this, I still had a subscription to Game Informer. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
With some early screenshots from the 360 era that they thought were leaked. It was crazy.
Well, they made American Nightmare.
That might have been what that game turned into, because
Yeah,
it was
that was
did
what it
not
was.
look like what they showed
Nope.
at the showcase.
American Nightmare is like almost a DLC sequel, if you really want to call it that.
Speaking of prices, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick was asked about seeing AAA games going on discount within days or weeks of the release.
That's offensive.
And
It's I pre-ordered it for $70, and they're like 3 days later, $60.
yeah, I don't understand it. I hate the $70. I understand games are going to get more expensive, but it's just pick a lane for me, because I don't want to. If I want to play a game right away, I don't want to pay $70 if you're going to sell it for $60 in 2 days.
They might be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit too. When I see games for $70, that just reinforces that I don't want to do day one orders outside of Tears of the Kingdoms and Elden Rings. I don't want to do day one anything.
Yeah, and now
I'm day
Diablo,
one.
Diablo 4 is probably going to be a day one for me. But it's got the stupid accelerated pass that you can buy where you can skip like 20 battle tier levels, and it's
Well, that's
I
why
don't
that's
know.
why you get the $130 version that has 2 season passes of content, which probably is about $30 of.
I will not be playing Diablo 4 just because I think Blizzard has become just a wreck and should not be supported at all. Like Overwatch 2, they canceled their plans for PvE, something they promised everyone, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are kind of a dumpster fire at times.
Yeah, but it's just like, how good can this top-down isometric...
Diablo 4 is going to be huge.
I played Diablo 3 for hundreds of hours.
Diablo
3
I've heard very good things from people that have played Diablo 4.
And it makes me question my, like, if a game is... Okay, let's put it this way. If the game is that good, I'll bite. But it has to be that good, because I played through a lot of 3. I played it over and over and over again. I got like some of the like tiered items that keep going up
I
and
started
up and
doing
up and up
the
and up.
seasons and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly. But it's also like, what is the level of content that you're actually giving me? Because if I hear anything that's like, yeah, but then like it's critical to pay more money than the $70 you're about to drop.
Oh yeah, then I'm out. Like I'll play it for the story and the little bit of season stuff that they do at the end. But
I'm not
You know what I
going
heard?
to play it either way. It's just not a game for me.
Did you know? I heard Diablo comes back in this.
no fucking way, dude.
The devil. Not my devil. Hashtag not my devil. But
I wonder if they're going to fight him.
I'm hoping not. I hope they come to a peaceful resolution.
It's actually just a world building. Like, we're going to rebuild. Sorry, things got pretty out of control there for a while. I'm the devil.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. And then
then it
Smash
becomes-
Mouth kicks in, and then the credits, Diablo Builders.
And then it becomes an Animal Crossing like. I'm the barbarian. I can't figure out how to hit this tiny nail with this big hammer.
He hits his thumb.
He goes, ooh.
As I told you guys in the kitchen like 15 minutes ago, I beat Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
Is that news?
This is a segue, Brad.
Okay.
This is a segue. I beat Jedi Survivor and I loved it. I had a lot of fun with it, but I was a victim to a horrible bug. There's a bounty system in Survivor.
That's very frustrating.
There's a character you talk to, and you can go hunt bounty hunters, and then you get these pucks, and then you return the pucks for perk slots and customizable shit.
Oh, no perk slots, as it turns out.
I think
They're just abilities that you can wield with the blaster.
Yes.
And also you can buy cosmetics for the blaster.
But nonetheless, I wanted to find these bounties and kill them because that's, they're a more challenging enemy.
That's what you do.
And the game is bugged. And that entire portion of the game is missing for me. There is no workaround.
She's not like hanging out.
She's hanging out. You can talk to her, but
Have you tried re-downloading your 134 gigabyte?
That's my last case scenario. But at this point, I was
think
like,
it's the save that's probably corrupted.
yeah, because
I'll probably tell you though, like that quest line doesn't really go anywhere.
you need it for a platinum though, and that's what's making people angry because the game came out
well, if
nearly
you're
a
one of those.
month ago, and there is still no fix and very little word on it. They just did a big patch or an update where they fixed some clipping issues, some frame rate drops, broken animations, that sort of thing.
Well, I beat that game 3 weeks ago, so I don't know. I'm not going back to it for a while.
I started New Game Plus to see if it was still broken, and it still is.
I'm hoping they release DLC for this.
I feel like they will. But in more Star Wars news, Ubisoft's first Star Wars game might be closer than we think. Ubisoft announced its largest opening loss in history on May 16th.
Okay.
And in order to quell investors...
It's like Lord of the Rings Gollum, but it's Star Wars Jar Jar.
Oh, God.
I'd play it.
I'd play that faster than I'd play Gollum.
You know what? I would.
We are going to make a lot of money together.
To quell the investors, the company announced a heavy slate of big releases for the next fiscal year, which runs through March of 2024. On this list was Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we know when that's coming out.
I still don't know a lot about that. We can talk about it.
Yeah. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I didn't even know was a thing. That's going to be a wet fart.
I don't know. Could be something.
What if it's one of those weird like movie games that just is great?
It's also open world.
Because I've heard like Chronicles of Riddick, or no, Pitch Black.
Pitch Black was fun.
Or whatever, the Chronicles of Riddick game, like it's actually way
from
better
Butcher
than it should
Bay.
be.
Yeah.
Mad Max was fun.
Yeah. Sometimes they're good. There's like a 2D mummy, Tom Cruise mummy game that's supposed to be pretty awesome.
The Mummy Demastered.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good.
It's good. I've played it.
It's weird.
I only played like 10 minutes of it, but I'm like, all right, I get it. Bye.
So the big Avatar game for a movie that I haven't talked to a single person who has seen yet.
I haven't seen it.
It's on Disney Plus and still no one's watching it.
They also
Is it on Disney Plus now?
Yeah.
The Way of Water?
Yep.
Yeah, has been for a minute.
Well, that's what I'm watching tonight.
It's hard to commit to a 3-hour affair.
Yeah. I ain't got time for that.
I also still have to see Super Mario.
I tell you what, John Wick 4 was amazing.
Can I rent that from Amazon?
I think I saw today it's on Prime.
Is it rentable?
It's
I have to buy it?
rentable.
Okay. I don't want to buy it.
Well, you're going to rent for 20 or buy for 25.
What?
That's usually what it winds up being.
No. Tyler's looking it up. How much do I have to pay to see this fucking film?
Brad's internet will let us know momentarily.
We're at the other end of the house. The Mario movie's fine.
Well, I still have to watch it. I'm looking for something for me and my wife to watch. It's Memorial Day tomorrow.
Do The Way of Water.
I just
Are you
feel
ready
like
for
I
this?
already know.
$24 to rent, $29.99 to buy. That's so shitty.
That is egregious.
Well, that's because they know that most people are going to watch it once. I don't have any desire to watch it again right away for a long time. And
Do you hear that? On the horizon, it sounds like black sails and skull and crossbones.
it's Assassin's Creed Dylan.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of whatever.
Speaking of pirates, Skull and Bones was the third game that they were going to talk about, and
That was supposed to be released last year
Yes.
and the year before it.
now they're saying it'll come out this fiscal year. Ubisoft also said, and another large game, and we know that they have the rights to make a Star Wars game.
That's like me promising the next joke I say is going to be good. We have no proof, and it probably won't be, but I can promise you it will be.
Only
Yeah.
Tyler and I can be the judge. So
I already know it's going to be bad.
it's
But
fine. We
get
can
this,
make it
though.
better.
This is what makes it reliable. This sentence. According to sources familiar with the company's plans, that game is an open world Star Wars game. There was no source. There was nobody. Obviously, they probably can't even talk about it. But
That's not dude. Open world games are not a selling point by themselves. A good open world game is a selling point.
Yeah.
But the number of
Otherwise,
games
you
that are
can-
just like big that are stupid.
Yeah. If there's nothing to do in that world and it feels vacant and hollow, like the new Saints Row game, then that's going to blow ass.
I mean, if it's Tatooine, but it's got 3 areas and 20 locations, like that's not enough. You need to have 20 worlds, interspace travel.
The gameplay itself has to be so good as to make you going across the world actually feel important and relevant.
Yeah.
Open worlds are slowly just becoming Metroidvanias. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah. You mean you gatekeep this spot? You have to go get this to get
Yeah,
further?
but they're making them more intricate and they're making them more vertical.
Interconnected.
Yeah, they're making them.
This goes back to Dark Souls, right?
It does, but Dark Souls is not what I would describe as an open world. It is levels connected on like different wormy ends that kind of push you through. I don't think Dark Souls is open world at all. But there are ways to make it feel like that because open world is defined by markers and checkpoints and hubs and I don't know, like Jedi Survivor is a great example of a great like Metroidvania open world. Everything, the traversal feels amazing. You never feel stupid doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go through a long corridor with some weird jumps and enemies, and then you come to a blocked area, and you're like, fuck, I need an ability or something to get through here.
Yeah.
You turn around, and then all of a sudden you get that ability, and you're like, fuck, yeah, I get to go back to that locked area.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that a lot more than I like what open world games have become. Because,
like Go?
dude, don't even get me started on Go.
I love it when the white circle takes the black.
They're making a Metroidvania
That's
version of Go
racist.
now.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
to both.
So Ubisoft might be making a Star Wars game. I think that I don't really give a shit about Star Wars hardly at all, but Cal Kestis' story is dope as fuck. And Respawn did very good with these games. So Ubisoft's got a really, really tall mountain to climb, in my opinion.
Respawn knows how to make a game.
Yeah, and Ubisoft's going to have to go out and get Lip from Shameless, the brother to the guy who plays Cal Kestis, just to make it cool.
What? I mean, what about Star Wars The Old Republic? We're still waiting on that, and that's never coming.
That was postponed indefinitely.
You know what's really great is just getting a fucking logo in front of a pre-made video, and people like, they announced it, it's coming.
it comes.
I don't give a fuck.
I like that Ubisoft is keeping this close to the chest. I think that's important. I would rather hear about a game 3 months before it comes out than hear anything about it. Unless it's like a huge franchise. If you're going to surprise us with something new, even if it has the Star Wars name attached to it, which arguably would not make it that new. But if you're going to make this game, why not like, let's say it comes out on like November 11th, the critical like sales day for most video games. Do it in August.
You know what's going to happen later this year at some point? There's going to be hey, Hollow Knight Silksong comes out in 2 weeks, and people are going to fucking explode.
I'm going to take off work.
It's gonna be that intense, and they're keeping their mouth shut, and people know it's coming, but they don't know anything else about it. They never gave a date, and it'll come when it's ready, and people know it's going to be good because they've seen one trailer and they trust the studio. They're playing it very smart, and when that does come,
Team Cherry is
people are gonna freak the fuck out.
sales through the roof.
Yep, I can't wait, and I like it playing close to chest. I agree. The Star Wars game, they don't talk about it. That's great. I also just like Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Really nice video you guys made. What's the game like?
Yeah,
You're not showing me anything, and also here's my problem with Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake, and we're getting in a little into territory here. If you don't have that original auteur and the same kind of dopey kind of storytelling, you lost the auteurship that made that game so special.
The tone, the campiness is an integral
it's supposed
part.
to be there.
Yeah, they're going to take it out. I almost guarantee.
Oh yeah, it's all gone. It's all going to be self-serious and
with Kojima gone and this project going on, that also I'm skeptical.
I mean, yeah,
I'm extremely skeptical. I don't think it's gonna. That they actually probably did an internal poll and they said, "Hey, what's the best Metal Gear Solid game?" And people went, "Well, everyone remembers Snake Eater the best." And then people were probably like, well, we should start with that one because it's also technically the first in the chronology. And then they're probably going to remake everything else from there.
If Konami wants to win some good faith from me, they would say, hey, we're working with Kojima. We're going to make PT. If they were somehow able to get PT back on the rails, then I would be like...
Silent Hills,
whatever. Like, I would be like, all right, I'm cautiously open to you again. But Konami has done enough to where I don't trust them anymore. I will get their Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster pack, whatever they're doing today. But it's only... Or they're doing right now because they won't be hopefully doing anything to fuck it up.
You never know.
It's just
you might be able to speed up battles. That might help.
Those battles are fast enough as it is.
Yeah,
They're some of the fastest RPG battles.
Yeah, you're right, I guess. If you're fast at selecting.
Yeah. Well, you just go free will and just auto fights if the stuff is weak enough.
Oh, sure.
I like that.
You know what else is really fast? Me button mashing in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, look at that segue, this guy.
Holy fuck. He's learning.
Mortal Kombat.
Did anyone ever say you have a voice made for radio and a brain for radio?
Didn't your dad say you're ugly?
He did. He told me I had a face for radio.
My mom says my eyes are too close together, and I said, well, you fucked someone whose eyes were too close
My dad
together.
says...
Checkmate.
And she's like, Dylan, and I'm like, you fucking said it. I'm like, and you have a really weird short haircut.
Mortal Kombat is being rebooted again.
I would argue
it's
this...
not a reboot.
No, I would
It's a
argue this is
rebirth.
I would argue this is a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Yep.
Well, it's called Mortal Kombat 1.
Well, it is a sequel, though, because everyone knows Liu Kang became the new god power, and he is going to reboot the universe, but he goes back as the new Raiden, so it's going to be a soft retelling of the first game
I think they're just going to go ham with it.
with the boys involved.
Yeah. They did I don't know a terrible amount about Mortal Kombat, but from what I've read,
do.
There's a magical hourglass.
I don't know this.
Chronica's Hourglass.
Yeah.
Oh, you are good, Dylan. I forgot about Chronica. Yep.
So they're essentially fighting to restart time sometimes or reimagine it. I don't know. I just beat my friends in the game. I've never really gotten into the lore of it.
Look, yeah, it's going to be just... These story modes, they somehow deliver compelling stories with characters you actually like, especially the newer ones.
Yeah.
But
That's the name. That's what fighting games are now. Is it? Can you deliver a compelling story mode? Because the gameplay, y'all got it right a while ago, and it's gotten pretty enough to where it's like, I don't need it to be prettier. What else are you going to do to deliver? And it's like, well, Johnny Cage needs to be funnier or something, you know?
Yeah.
and also maybe refine things. That's really all fighting games are.
Tweak.
Listen to
things.
our Street Fighter episodes.
And our Mortal Kombat episodes.
Yeah. Oh, I remember just being like, what?
Shu Hao. What?
Okay.
But then Bo Rai Cho had a brewery, and we're like, all right, that's cool.
And he farts on people.
I sang Bon Jovi into a mic with Liu Kang, so
Yeah, you did.
that was awesome.
It was Kung Lao, but
Oh, my bad.
Liu
See,
Kang wasn't there.
It was Kung Lao and the Scorpions.
Kung Lao and the Scorpions, yep.
How long have I had this verbal equivalent to spinach in my teeth?
I bought a rum and coke for Shang Tsung. That's my weirdest thing.
Sweet.
I remember buying Johnny Cage some beers.
Lots of beers.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, thanks, man. I'm like, uh-huh.
I did want to talk about the new Alone in the Dark game because I like those games.
What? You like Alone in the Dark?
I do, yeah.
Have you played it on your Switch, the Game Boy Color one?
No, I haven't gone back that far. I'm talking more about the one that came out when I was in like middle to high school. The one that seemed like a television series where like every time you beat a chapter, it was like last time on Alone in the Dark. And then it gave you a recap of what you just played. Do you remember that game?
No.
Well, they're making another one.
Couldn't have been reviewed well.
I never played
I've
Alone in
never
the Dark.
heard about it.
But the remake of the survival horror game Alone in the Dark is coming out on October 25th. THQ Nordic announced that actors Jodie Comer.
Who's that?
She's the blonde lady that they're fighting over in The Last Duel with Adam Driver and Matt Damon. She was also the girl from Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, she's cool.
Yeah, she's not a bad actress. I like some of her stuff. And David Harbour from a little show called Stranger Things are going to be the protagonists.
He's so
that you
hot
play.
right now.
He is.
He's so hot right now.
You're going to play as dual protagonists, and it looks like there's some cool combat to it. It's got this weird kind of. He wears a fedora, and it looks kind of old.
Wait, what? This is one of your selling points you're telling me right
It's
now?
got that.
He wears a fedora.
It's got that Perry Mason look to him, and I think that's cool.
So it's got, David
Where's
Harbour.
this
He's
take
wearing
place?
a fedora.
What's the
Don't
general?
know.
Tyler, you should wear a fedora.
But I thought this was cool.
Tyler, you should really get a fedora.
I am
Wait. No, if for people that are listening, just imagine every episode we are all wearing fedoras the whole time.
Get a trilby if you don't like a fedora.
We should just
I'm a
hair the
snapback
Dogcast
man.
fedoras
I'll wear my cowboy hat.
on top of
of
the headset.
Nice. I thought this was cool because not only do I like the game and I like David Harbour, but we've seen a much bigger uptick in celebrities.
Is he wearing a fedora, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe a trilby. I don't know my hats that well.
That's like 1 point on the rating scale.
If you,
I don't even need to play the game. It's already got a
If I
1.
spend $2.99, can I change the colors of my fedora?
I'm sure they got something like that for you.
Oh my goodness.
You're gonna get a purple suede or something like that. Yeah.
But he did an interview talking about his
Fedora?
his experience in working with the video game, working in a video game medium. That was pretty cool. But this is cool because he's an actor that I enjoy, and I thought I would hate seeing more and more actors' likeness being used in games. But Cal Kestis is the dude from Shameless, Cameron Monaghan.
It makes sense. I mean, actors give performances.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
him as Cal Kestis, he brought something to that role that fucking that I haven't even seen Troy Baker bring to a role.
He was phenomenal in Survivor. Woo.
Oh my god. Like some of those like scenes, oh shit. Whoever plays Seer,
Yeah, oh my God, dude.
I still don't know how I feel about
The Witch.
Night
Yeah.
Sister Morena or
Marin.
Marin. Thank you.
But yeah, no, I think this is really cool. I found that seeing David Harbour in a game from a series that I really enjoyed when I was younger was like all of a sudden a big selling point. I didn't expect that. So it is having an effect on me. And I know we just did an episode, Celebrities
called
in
the boner,
Games.
Tyler.
Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Tyler, did you know that when I was like single and like freshly out off the relationship boat, people compared me to David Harbour all the time?
That's the compliment in my
I
book.
know it is.
That's because you were dressed like a sheriff. You were trying to like talk to these kids about not
Dude,
going
you should-
underground.
Dude, you should see me in a fedora.
You were just the drunk sheriff just yelling at people.
Yeah.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. You slam the door.
Yes, exactly.
That's better than some fucking dickhead came into the bar the other day. I shaved a goatee, and he's like, "You look like Hardy," and I was like, "Jeff Hardy? I don't look
Who?
like the wrestler
Who's
Jeff
Hardy?
Hardy. He's some fucking douchebag-looking country artist." I was like, "If that's what people think I look like, I need plastic surgery. This dude is fucking weird looking."
Let's look at Hardy. Is it spelled like the restaurant chain?
I'm already on it, guys. Don't worry.
Jeff Carls Jr.
Jeff Carls Jr.
And unfortunately,
That's actually a good one.
Thank you. I had one good joke. So we're looking at a picture of Jeff Hardy.
no, it's a picture.
It's literally because you have glasses.
It's because
most
I
of the
have
time.
glasses. He wears snapbacks, and we have the same facial.
You
hair.
have the same facial hair.
But so if someone told me
he's
I look like
basically calling you a white guy. Do you not?
No, you mean
When I was fatter, I was told I looked like Zach Galifianakis. I've never looked like Zach Galifianakis.
David
if
Harbour's
someone
a
says
he's
compliment,
handsomer
though. That
than
dude's
me.
I want you to know you don't look like this Jeff Hardy guy. You look like Harvey Keitel in Little Nicky. He played the devil.
I'll take that.
The facial hair.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think you look like you have a voice for radio.
By the end of this, I'll be holding up my ears and there'll just be like a pair of lips on this stool.
There we go.
All right.
I don't think you look like that guy. I think he saw like 3 facial features and was just like playing a game of Guess Who in his mind.
Some people are
He
bad
went-
with faces.
He told 2 of my coworkers and then went out of his way to tell me. And obviously, he was pretty fucked up. So I was like, "Thanks, man." I looked him up and I was like, I think this man just insulted me."
Tell him he looks like a prick. At least that's what I would have done.
And the last piece of news before we start handing it off to the different
the creatures.
console critters. Brendan O'Brien, the original voice of Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex, died at the age of 60. R.I.P. Those games were big games when I was a child.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Yes, thank you, Dylan. So just wanted to
That
throw
wasn't too
in there.
bad.
That was
actually pretty good.
That was a solid, pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, we are going to take a break. Check out some of these other shows on the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network.
We're the Tokyo Fresh Podcast.
I'm David.
I'm Jordan.
We're a comedy lifestyle podcast diving into the weird and interesting side of Japan.
We often share stories about our lives in Japan, and how you can avoid making the same mistakes.
So if you want to take advice from two idiots who have been living here far too long, check out the Tokyo Fresh Podcast.
Only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
Today's show is brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio. With a comprehensive lineup of both wired and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams, EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio. Like their H6 Pro lineup, which features two versions, an open or closed headset. The closed headset allows you to tap into exceptionally detailed audio and seals out ambient noise, while the open version delivers natural high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage. Both headsets include a magnetic detachable microphone and a sleek design that has no wild RGB configurations, just good design. Listeners can save 15% by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering code EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout. That is EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout.
Baby.
Hey, we're back.
Hello.
Chad Xbox or Spartacus, who wants to handle this first?
I'll go first. Here. Hey, everyone. Chad Xbox here. I like to talk about the best video game console. It is the third best console performing today. It's kind of not doing good.
It's doing fine.
It's doing all right here. So we'll talk about the news first. Earlier this month, or earlier in May, I should say, Phil Spencer was on episode of the Kinda Funny Xcast, a podcast, and he spoke possibly too candidly about the Xbox's current situation. He started off by apologizing for Redfall and about how much of a dumpster fire it was. And he was like, yeah, we need to work on things. We shouldn't be releasing, one of our bigger games and it performs like dog shit. And then he just kind of started speaking his mind. He said, we're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or Nintendo. There isn't really going to be a great solution for us to win here.
Oof.
He says, it's just the truth of the matter. We're the third place of the console marketplace right now, and we don't see a way to get out of it.
Which is a shame because they're killing it in my eyes.
I love what they're up to. He made a great point. He said, we lost the Xbox One console generation, and he thinks that was probably the worst generation to lose. Mm-hmm. He said that's when people really started investing in digital libraries. And once people own the digital game for this console and the next one comes out, they're getting brand loyalty there.
Yeah.
And people jumped over to PS4. And
I did.
Yep. And so he's like, that was a big shame for us. Digital libraries are affecting us. And then he's saying, even if we had some amazing, great exclusives comes out, I don't think it would be enough to sell our consoles.
It's not.
And he says it's just not true that if we went out and built great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console shares shift in some dramatic way. I could slightly disagree if it was a big one. If it was Elder Scrolls 6 and it was purely exclusive, that would sell Xbox consoles for sure.
I'm buying an Xbox console for Starfield.
If it's good. And it probably will be. That's one of those games that they can't fuck up, but they fucked up every Halo game that they've released since after 3. So,
but
ODST Reach. Bethesda.
I have some level of faith that it's going to at least be a game that I'm interested in. And I'm already bought in. It's fine. And with Bethesda, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on a Microsoft system, no matter what. It's going to release first.
Yep.
and then it'll be a year before it shows up on any PlayStation.
Yeah, and I will have an Xbox by then. I got my.
I don't count on 6 coming out on this gen.
But the issue is
That's crazy to me.
The issue is not us, people that will buy multiple consoles, but it's the people that only buy one, and people that have already made their decision. And you know what? If somebody gets the PlayStation 5, the next thing they'll get is a Nintendo Switch,
Which is exactly what I did.
everybody wants a Switch. Everybody needs a Switch. You're not going to play Tears of the Kingdom anywhere else. You're not going to play the new Marios, the new Metroids,
You ain't gonna be able to touch it.
Mario Karts, Smash Brothers. Nintendo has carved out its own part of the sandbox, the playground, and no one can touch it. They're like, we just put our foundations here and fuck you.
But that's what makes them the best of this generation.
I would agree. I mean, Nintendo is slaying it. They are fantastic. And if anything, I feel trepidation for them to make any moves forward because the Switch has been just such a good console that doing a Switch 2, a Switch Pro, or whatever the new thing is, it needs to be big.
Well, to delve a little into my segment, there are some extreme rumors based on job listings that kind of lead you to believe that this is in probably mid-stage development, this new console.
Yeah.
And they say it could be out as soon as late 2024.
Well, I mean, Nintendo, they either do the best consoles or the worst consoles.
And
even the ones that are bad, they're great for they're fantastic. The Wii U is an amazing console.
It was definitely an amazing console.
And the 64 did a lot of things right despite doing a lot of things wrong.
But it was a trailblazer.
It was a trailblazer, and GameCube was, looking back, one of my favorite consoles. But at the time, I didn't appreciate it as much.
No one did. They called it baby's lunchbox or whatever.
But Xbox, yeah, Phil Spencer was just kind of being way too honest. And it's like when you start talking about something you shouldn't in public, and everyone's like, Brad, just stop a little bit.
Nintendo should have been like, well, let's see which one can survive a 5-story fall.
That Game Boy
Nintendo
Advance?
probably would have won.
Although the Switch couldn't survive.
The Switch, no. Gosh, no.
And
Maybe wind resistance.
wanted to do an update on the Xbox, Sony, Activision squabbles. There's quite a bit, actually. Activision Blizzard recently has reportedly hired Lord David Panic to handle the case with the UK CMA. He is a lawyer who has previously represented ex-UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, the Manchester City Football Club, and perhaps most notably Queen Elizabeth II herself. They got a fucking high-profile lawyer.
He's a lord? Does that mean he was knighted?
He's a knighted lord. He's
a barrister.
No, he's not a lord. No, he's not knighted because that would be a sir. He might be a sir and a lord.
He could be a lord.
He
could be a lord, but they also don't call them lawyers there. They're barristers.
Would he be Sir Lord Barrister?
I don't know. Sir Lord Dr. Barrister.
Oh
Tyler.
my God, that dude. That's too much success for one man.
Fedora MD. Fedora
have to
MD.
defend-
I'd watch that show. It'd have to be an animated David Harbour detective show called Fedora MD.
He's guaranteed to be ruthless because if he's defending
He's
a
defended
series
the
of
Queen.
assholes.
Well, the Queen and one of the
Asshole.
one of the most major football clubs ran by assholes.
Assholes.
And Boris Johnson. So they're lawyering up hard is what's going on there.
They're going to get what they want.
The European Commission voted to approve the acquisition deal, leaving so far just the UK, the CMA, which we mentioned before, and the US FTC as the major roadblocks. They said the proposed remedies in regards to cloud gaming were enough to fully address all of our concerns. An important finding was that the overall market share for Microsoft and Activision was generally low in Europe. It's only when you look at specific segments like shooter games that you get to an above 20% market. And for consoles, Sony sells about 4 times more than more PlayStations than Microsoft sells Xboxes. In this context, we did not think that the merger raised a vertical issue. This will not make Xbox all of a sudden just run the market. And I think everyone knows that, but there's just a lot of money in a lot of pockets that is preventing things from moving.
If you can find proof that they're withholding because they have interests beyond just an actual anti-monopoly type of situation.
I mean, and the biggest issue is the cloud gaming market, and they think that
It's not important right now.
It's not, but they think that controlling the properties of Activision Blizzard would allow Microsoft to move the cloud gaming market the way it wants. It's like, that's how fucking technology works. Someone
always has to.
Someone has to make big decisions. The CMA made a statement in regards to the European Union's approval. It says it respects the decision made by the European Commission, but it stands by our own decision that this merger would harm competition in cloud gaming. Microsoft's CEO was on CNBC recently, and the host asked, "Could you ever see an age where you would not sell, where you would sell the product in the U.S. if it was approved, sell the products in Europe, and then not sell it in the U.K. if they didn't approve it? Could you see a scenario where the U.K. just doesn't get stuff?"
And he said, "Damn straight."
And Satya Nadella, the CEO, said, "Well, let's just wait for it all to play out." And everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
That is called confidence.
That's some big dick energy.
That is
right
like,
there.
all right, UK, shoot yourself in the foot. And pressure.
I think, well, the pressure's literally just going to be like from the people. It's literally just going to be like, well, you fucked us over.
Well, we want to fire you. We want to vote you out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And pressure.
Because video games are hyper important to people. I don't agree with it in terms of like how I choose my politics, but
going to loot boxes in that case, like when they made it illegal for loot boxes to be sold for games, certain countries like, we can't compete in FIFA now. That was our lifeblood. But if we can't pay to win, we can't play at all. And that's people speaking up for bad practices there. Pressure, though, you mentioned pressure, is being applied to the UK CMA to approve the deal. Following the UK MP's questioning over the decision, Jeremy Hunt said they should understand their wider responsibilities for economic growth. Even if it's the CMA's job to do, regulate the market, they should be looking at the bigger picture here. And
I mean, for all intents and purposes, Sony is probably working on their own next gen level, like real next gen level cloud gaming service that's probably going to be functional in exactly the same way.
what Sony's doing,
Do the exact same thing.
what Sony's doing is just looking at pictures of the Switch and jerking off.
Yeah, pretty much.
They fucking wish they were.
They're like, check out this not Splatoon. This isn't Zelda.
This isn't Zelda, but it's kind of a Breath of the Wild.
You guys, why don't we switch gears here a little bit and check out our new controller?
Oh my god.
But last note on that, China's antitrust regulator has given the merger complete go-ahead. According to the report, the Asian nation has granted unconditional approval for the deal, and this was not expected to happen for the U.S. and the U.K. Even China's like, go for it, we don't care. And right now, it's just the CMA's looking kind of sketchy.
Well, Microsoft is one of the few companies that will like really censor their games for China.
Yes, they bend over and they say, "Hello, China, whatever you need."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Games with Gold, they're not announced yet. We're recording this about a week earlier than usual, so I don't know the Games with Gold for next month. But Game Pass, I have decided to no longer include the removed or leaving soon section.
That's fine.
At
Who
that point,
cares?
they're already gone.
Yeah.
Added this month, though, we have Redfall, Ravenlock, Fuga, Melodies of Steel 2.
Playing it, great.
It looks awesome.
Dude, the first one is just as good.
Well, the only thing that was like a not selling point for me was furries in tanks.
Don't worry about it.
But the voice acting sounded cool in the trailer.
It doesn't play the way you think it does.
Well, I saw some of the gameplay. It looks like an RPG Advance Wars almost.
It's a series of linear tracks that you can choose to go down harder routes, and it kind of splits off in multiple directions.
Choose your own difficulty.
And then it's a turn-based. It's a turn-based kind of tank game where you're using different weapons that different kids can use on different levels and switching between them. So like some can do anti-aircraft, some can do this.
The trailer looked amazing.
It is satisfying as fuck. I don't think the opening to this one is nearly as good as the first one. So if you're going to start, you start with one because it looks essentially the same.
I was impressed. The name and the image for the cover did nothing for me.
Yeah.
The trailer, though,
It made me feel really bad about it to begin with. But if you keep playing, eventually you're going to kind of like these characters.
FIFA 23.
FIFA 23.
I mentioned Redfall. I played it for about an hour today, and it was as bad as I expected. Eastern Exorcist. I played that for a while today. It's a side scroller combat game. I didn't like the animation. It didn't work for me. Didn't like the combat.
I'll avoid.
Planet of Lana.
I don't know.
It's gotten very good reviews. I played that for a while today, and it's Limbo, but with a different art style. That's
fine.
It's kind of a clunky walk and jump puzzle game, but it's beautiful, and the music is great.
Fine.
I thought it was good. Railway Empire 2, Massive Chalice, which I don't know what's going on in that game, but I do love the title. That's a massive chalice.
Railway Empire 2?
Massive Chalice is not. That's a separate game from Railway Empire 2.
I like Railway. I like Railway Empire. It's a good game.
I never played it.
It's good.
Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Colorful Tale, and Superland 6 Inches Under. Do you know anything about that game, Dylan?
No.
So I played that today, and that is my recommend of the month.
Really?
Superland, you play like those little walk sign dudes. You look like that. You're like super tiny, and you play a character called Plumber that everyone just talks shit at.
It sounds like The Pedestrian. I played a little bit of that one.
It's super cute. The gameplay's fun, and it's like a little first-person puzzle solver game, and it's funny. And sometimes a game clicks. The comedy was working for me immediately because there's the blues and the reds.
Sure.
And they hate each other. But there's the red prince, and the whole time the blues are like, yeah, this wouldn't happen if a blue guy was in charge, I bet. And you play they just call you Plumber, and everyone takes credit for good things, and everyone shits on you when things go wrong. I've really enjoyed the game so far, so that would be my recommend out of
Sounds like
this.
my job.
I know. You do a great job, Dylan.
No, I don't.
And what's coming by the end of June? Slayer X, A Terminal Aftermath, and Amnesia the Bunker.
Amnesia the Bunker. All right. I mean, I'm interested in another Amnesia game because I didn't like Rebirth at all.
The Bunker looks great. I watched some gameplay footage of that, and I liked Amnesia. I had that on Steam. I think it was the first game I ever bought on Steam.
That one's okay. I have it on the Switch, surprisingly, and it works great.
Yeah, The Bunker looks pretty nasty, though. Like, it's really... I think they took a lot of cues from Resident Evil with this one. I got the same vibe.
And one last thing for this. Xbox recently held a Sony PlayStation showcase where they showed off all the new games coming to Xbox. Let's send it over to the PlayStation Spartacus Plus Premium.
Hey, this is Spartacus here. We don't know what the fuck we're doing right now. No.
Yes. I have to take whatever digs I'm allowed to take at PlayStation, you bastards.
PlayStation had a showcase, and they dropped some games, not all of them exclusives, as Chad has told you.
Would you say it was an underwhelming showcase?
I don't really care about exclusives. I was just happy to see some of the games on there. I wouldn't say...
You were excited about several where I was suddenly talking to myself and going, like, do I even care? Like, not about you caring, but I was like, no, I don't know, maybe not for me.
There was 4 games that were announced that I was like, fuck yeah. Well, not announced, but you got to see a little bit more on them.
Yeah.
So that was cool for me. Overall, I wasn't underwhelmed by it. I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I was whelmed.
I just saw Twitter exploding with, like, mid. Everyone is saying, like, mid.
I think that's unfair. I think it was better. It was better than mid.
Problem is people want the big announcements that they're hoping for, and then when they just see some new Spider-Man footage and they get announced like games that they were already aware of or like a video for a new game, they wanted more.
That's what Nintendo does too, though. Like, games are not being released at the pace that they used to. That's just like that's the going rate of what we have now. You're gonna see a lot more previews of shit to keep the hype train going. Spider-Man 2. I know a lot of people are excited for it. Are people like really that jazzed for the sequel to this Spider-Man game?
I absolutely loved that first Spider-Man game, and Miles
gonna be a
Morales
big
was
deal.
great too.
Okay.
That's actually the first game I was going to talk about because we haven't seen much of, if anything, from it for a long time.
Yeah.
And we got a good look at Kraven, the villain. They had a cinematic trailer where he's like, upset that he's hunting some dude and he kills him. And he's like, "You will not challenge."
Is Kraven the Hunter a cool, good Spider-Man villain?
He ends up killing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that's good. But like you can kill somebody and still be a
Spider-Man
dipshit.
had the black suit.
Yeah.
And it's secretly Venom. So expect Spider-Man to die in this one and come back to life.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Kraven the Hunter, I haven't seen anything with this character before. I know Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be playing him in a movie, and all I know is this guy doesn't wear sleeves, and he seems annoying.
So I hear the take on him this time is that he's like a Travel Channel kind of like internet kind of culture guy. And what he does is he's like, well, I'm going to hunt like the biggest prey I can think of. And that'd be Spider-Man. And that's what the whole thing is. Like, I'm tired of facing off against people who are underneath me. Mm-hmm. So he'll hunt you. I don't know.
Okay.
So
it's Kraven.
Yeah, a psycho hunter who wants to go to New York City to hunt down our dynamic duo, because now we will be playing as Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Is that confirmed? I thought it was just Peter Parker.
It looks like we're playing as both.
Okay.
Both.
And it also looks like we're getting a bigger section of New York City, so it's not just Manhattan. It looks like, I'm unfamiliar with the boroughs, but I'm going to go Queens,
Long Island.
I don't know the boroughs.
Yeah, maybe Brooklyn.
I think that's one.
I mean, that makes sense because you can't just, I mean, the map has to stay the same. New York is New York. If all of a sudden all the streets are different, that'd be weird. So they have to add something.
They'll make it look better. They'll make it have like different signs and stuff. Maybe like scaffolding now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the environment, I think, looked really good from the content that we saw. I think that the world looked very lived in. I was happy with what I saw gameplay-wise. I think the game looks really great. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to swim, and I'm going to have more of those stupid areas in the harbor where you have to jump from like buoy to buoy. Hate that shit.
Of course.
He's Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker. He's a genius. He's athletic and of a normal age. He can swim.
I never took him to swim classes.
It's stupid.
And
Put that motherfucker in the water.
She was too busy making pies and fucking Uncle Ben.
I getting back to like you said, are people really excited for this game? And Dylan, yeah, like I really liked that first Spider-Man.
I've never touched it.
The Dr. Octopus story I thought was great. The way that they handled like that evolution.
Yeah.
And
Miles Morales was bite-sized, but that was still like, it was like a dessert.
Spider bite size.
And it wasn't a full price game, Miles Morales. And it was, I have no problem with a really solid 10-hour campaign if that's what you're doing. And sometimes games don't need to be 100 hours.
No, I agree. I just, this never appealed to me for some reason. I don't know.
It's because it's more Marvel stuff. And to sell you on like, the MCU,
really
which is oversaturated to fuck.
Yeah.
They're trying to get me excited about a Wolverine game. And I tell you,
that's the only one I'm excited for.
I'm excited for that.
I don't know if I don't know anything yet. Once I see more about it, maybe, but
I'm picturing like a Yakuza style brawler.
Maybe it'll be great. We don't know. I haven't seen anything to prove it yet.
I would argue that this is the most anticipated game for people who own PlayStations right now.
I think you might be correct on that. Name recognition alone.
Number 2 in a second would be Final Fantasy 16, which we also got another look at.
I watched the full trailer of this.
I'm very excited for this game because it looks kind of...
Are we talking about 16 now?
Yeah. Okay. Final Fantasy. Last few things on Spider-Man that I really liked. Peter's wearing his symbiote. I can never...
Symbiote, yeah.
Suit. And
he becomes more violent with it.
Yes, and he gets angsty. And I hope we had like a Tobey Maguire like
dancing
QTE dance scene. That'd be fucking dope. It looks gnarly.
Yeah.
I want to do the snapping and
the only thing I want QTEs for is shitty dance sequences in a Spider-Man game. Yes. I would sign up for like tap circle to the beat for that. Because it's as dumb as what you're watching on screen. I can sign up for that.
Yeah, I'd love it. With Miles and Peter fighting Venom, Marvel's Entertainment creative VP Bill Roseman said that the narrative will be darker than previous installments, which makes sense because Venom is just like evil incarnate.
It's also the sequel thing that they always do.
It's going to be darker.
And then the third one will start with the theme song done on piano.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
And it'll be about hope and the sunrise.
And
the night is darkest just before the dawn.
Guys, did we just write a trilogy?
And yeah, the third one.
The night is not the darkest just before the dawn, because the dawn creeps up slowly and light tends to infiltrate a little more.
Okay,
never mind.
No, who's the villain for Spider-Man 3 when it comes out, Dylan?
It's got to be Harry Osborn.
It's got to be the Green Goblin.
Well, it is the Green Goblin.
Well, they've already
because they've been building him up.
Yeah, and they teased him at the end of the first game, didn't they? If I remember correctly,
probably.
You could go several directions with it,
and they have to bring in Carnage. as a DLC.
I don't think Carnage will. I don't think he'll make an appearance. I think it's going to be
I think a more fucked up Doc Ock is going to show up.
The DLC will
with Harry
be
Osborn, Green Goblin.
the DLC will be a Spider-Verse DLC where the character from the Spider-Verse comes into the world.
It's going to be the Sinister Six.
There you go.
Well,
That's
that
the
was,
obvious choice.
I think it's really going to. I think they're going to try and ground it.
The Sinister Six is the most like famous Spider-Man story next to the death of Gwen Stacy. It was like 2 issues long.
What
the first
if?
one. But
What
Return
if?
of the Sinister Six was
What if it's Morbius?
Dr. Michael Morbius.
What if it's Morbin time for the third one?
I think it is.
I got the perfect guy to play
well,
it too.
actually, I just think Morbius should have his own like 7-game series.
I'd be down with that. You know who I'd cast as Morbius in the game?
Jared Leto.
Danny DeVito. Moving on.
I'm Morbius.
Somehow he's doing his penguin performance.
So anyway, I came in and just started blasting.
I'm just gonna eat raw fish. Pay no mind.
What are you, a man spider?
The next game that I was super excited about, Final Fantasy 16. We got another look at that. I did not expect this to look as dark as it looks.
I like that they're leaning into like
It's got like
heavy fantasy.
yeah. And it looks like it's got a hard M rating. I think I saw like the whole gamut of shit when they threw the trailer up. I think I saw swearing, blood, and nudity, and I was like, in a Final Fantasy game? I was not expecting that.
I mean, swearing's been around in Final Fantasy game for a long time.
Sure has.
Nudity, no, but implied sex and awkward things, yes.
Obviously.
But yeah, I don't know.
It looks darker. The game looked super pretty in both cutscenes and in the gameplay that I saw. Plus, with the last announcement they did at the last showcase where they really showed the icon battles, this game looks like it's going to be pretty gnarly.
Do you want to know what I've heard? Early impressions?
Let's hear it.
That the story is incomprehensible slush.
So what, like every Final Fantasy made since like 10?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah, but that's not inspiring.
No, I mean, it's not inspiring, but it's also, were you expecting it to not be some gobbledygook?
I was expecting them to return to form because they took so long. It has been
Even 10 was
it has been 7
nonsense.
years.
9 was the last like real solid simple story, I think. 12 was pretty good. 10 was way out there. Your father's sin, a dream. And
Yeah,
you,
but it's cool though. That's the
that
difference.
that was gnarly.
The storytelling they're
I don't-
doing.
I don't know if the story was cool in 10.
The story is
but
cool in
Auron
10.
wearing sunglasses and drinking out of some random flask, that's cool.
He did that cool thing where he didn't put his arm in his sleeve.
I mean, that's cool.
That was cool.
But Tidus wearing one pant leg is not cool.
no.
I don't know. Maybe it was functional to something.
He had a really nasty birthmark on his upper right thigh.
Look, I need them to like. Modern anime confuses me now because their storytelling is so off the wall and they just don't have any focus. They have no like actual way of like pulling it all together. This just looks like, I just think it looks really bad, and feel free to prove me wrong, video game. If it's good, I literally said, if this game turns out to be like a 9 out of 10, I will go that day to buy a PS5 and I will get it. That is not a problem for me.
I'm only gonna play.
I'm willing to be wrong. This is not like me being like a dipshit, but I'm telling you, this is the same way I've been burned by Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I've been burned by Final Fantasy 13.
Big time.
And I don't want more of this dribble. It does not follow what Final Fantasy is supposed to be. And if they can make that good, I'm into it.
The biggest problem.
Be the Tears of the Kingdom to Final Fantasy 15's Breath of the Wild.
We want to be wrong.
I would love to be wrong.
I would love. I mean, when I start up a new game, I'm like, all right, you have me. You have me by default, and then you lose me.
Yeah.
And I want to play new Final Fantasy games. I love them.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, what are they gonna do?
13, I was like 2 hours in, I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever played.
It's really bad.
And then 15, I was like pushing a car with a bunch of like bros in leather, and we were
didn't
eating
mind
ramen. I'm like, you don't got me right now.
No.
I want to like you.
I don't hate the opening to 15. It's just I thought it was going to go somewhere, and it never does.
The characters were not engaging enough to me, and
It's more fun to ride the chocobo than it is to get in a car and hit drive and then just watch a sim. You're just There's no control over the car.
You can.
I mean, but it's not very good.
Did you turn the car into a rocket ship?
No.
You could.
Straight up the end of Greece.
You could turn it into an airship. Just that fucking like Rolls Royce ass looking thing.
Yeah.
You can put wings on it and you can fly at a certain
that's
point.
awesome. I'm excited about this one. The only thing that, and maybe I'm the minority here, I fucking hate that they moved away from the what you fucking call it, the turn-based combat.
I'm annoyed by that too. Why would I want a Kingdom Hearts like?
And the early indications are
It's
saying
very
this
much.
plays like Devil May Cry, the combat.
Devil May Cry.
I love.
I hear Devil May Cry, but you say Devil May Cry.
Here's my.
Because you don't know if he's gonna.
He might cry.
He might.
Devil could cry.
He might cry.
Devil could cry.
No, my main problem with that is that when you make like a real character action game like a Devil May Cry, you are actually, it is more about inputs. It's more about like a fighting game style of what you're doing. To introduce then RPG elements into it, they're basically what essentially they're calling it is a hack and slash. That's it.
And that's not, I mean,
That's unappealing to me.
yeah, I'm not looking for that. I liked the managing stats and
Because the
trying to defeat enemies in a the turn-based combat just makes sense in my brain. It's very smoothing. My smooth brain likes it.
It's pleasing.
Give me more of that. I don't like that they went away from it. And that's my biggest gripe with this one. Although I
want a web of stats that I can move through.
Yes. The Final Fantasy X with the spheres.
Well, everyone loves the sphere grid. I don't know
I
anyone
love
who
that.
hates it.
I love the license board in 12.
Yeah, the license board in 12 is good.
I loved 7. I loved 8. I loved 9.
I want materia.
All I want is a new fun system, and I don't want it to suck. And I don't want a hallway, and I don't want characters that make me cringe. I just want to be entertained.
Oh, can we get the name of the protagonist again?
Clive.
I was going to.
Clive, last name?
His name is Struggle Sorrow.
Struggle Sorrow. That's good. I'm going to use that. Yeah. Writing in a character right now.
You see, he's got a lot of sorrow in his
Rosefield.
past.
Clive Rosefield. Couldn't remember.
Rossfield. I would go Rossfield.
Oh, yeah, there's
hope
no
it's
E there. My bad.
Rosefield.
I can't read.
Because they all speak vaguely British. Whatever.
I hear he's a barrister.
Oh, yeah. He's
Lord
the royal barrister.
He's Lord Rossfield,
for,
the barrister. He defended the Queen against the Xbox.
They have a voice actor too that looks like he's playing like your BFF in this one, and I can't. His voice, I recognize it, and it was bothering me, so I'm looking him up.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, Final Fantasy 16. I want to like it. I will wait till I hear reviews, and when I play it, it will be with an open mind, and we'll see what happens.
I am willing to give this a shot if I read that it's good.
Also, unrelated but related.
Oh, it's Ralph. It's the
Ralph
dude,
Macchio.
Ralph Ineson from the Vivitch and Game of Thrones.
The
He's
Witch.
the dad,
Which dad?
the only dad in The Witch.
What about Game of Thrones? What was he in Game of Thrones?
I can't remember. I know he's in it. He maybe he was at Harrenhal.
Okay.
This is his.
Oh,
face.
Jack and Hagar?
No, not that guy. That guy.
Oh, he was in. Okay, yeah.
He was in Harrenhal, right? One of the guards.
I was thinking The Witcher. It was the Vivitch. You were right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Vivitch.
Yeah.
He's the Cavill.
His voice is lower than anything. Of it.
Yeah, it's a weird voice.
No, daughter, you must not have your period. That's like the theme of the witch.
Dude, I thought he was in the room with us. Did you hear that? Whoa. And then the third game, well, Alan Wake we already talked about. That was one I was really excited for. Snake Eater's getting a remaster. We already kind of talked about this.
Yucky.
Yucky. And people
I think it's yucky.
people immediately were like, well, is Kojima involved? And Kojima, as it was being announced, posted a picture of the spaghetti and like the Coca-Cola he was having at the time with nothing else.
If they-
and
if
I'm
they-
like, Kojima's just got like big energy, and I'm
wanna know
all
what-
about him.
What they should have done is literally right after that, another Death Stranding 2 teaser, because I would have been like, oh, man. Like, I'm not a hype guy, but I would have been like, oh, you got screwed.
just play the same teaser again. It's like
Play it again.
still
It's just like-
coming.
because that first trailer for Death Stranding 2 made me, I actually feel hype.
That Game Awards was the most hype like trailers I've ever had. You had Hades 2.
I know.
Death Stranding 2, games that I didn't know were getting sequels. I have never been so excited for trailers ever.
The Snake Eater was just a cinematic. We don't have.
Well,
really,
it's called Metal Gear like Delta.
I hate
Snake
that.
Eater.
but it's a triangle.
That's Delta.
with 3 sides for 3 Snake Eater. But they're also trying to differentiate it at the same time.
I think
I've
it's because
seen-
it's a pyramid scheme where they're just trying to make
Yeah.
money. I don't know.
They also confirmed that Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 will bring the first 3 Solid games, Metal Gear, Sons of Liberty, and Snake Eater to the PS5.
We really don't like making more games. Here are the same ones that we've already released.
I have a really brilliant Metal Gear anthology for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Is this just going to be in 4K?
I don't
Is
know.
that the
I
difference?
have it-
Because I don't give a fuck.
I have it for the 360.
these cowards should be just releasing Twin Snakes again in HD. Because Twin Snakes is it still just trapped on the GameCube?
It is trapped on the game.
The Twin Snakes is the best way to play Metal Gear Solid 1, and it's sadly I can't play it elsewhere.
Yeah, and now it's worth like $300.
And I don't know where it is. I lost my copy, and now I can't play it.
I used to have it too.
Yeah.
Some
I
bullshit.
sold it, I think, before I left for college.
We don't know a lot about this. We don't know if it's a remake or a remaster. By the looks
Well,
of
it's gonna
this-
be a remake.
I don't think they can remaster it without Kojima. It just wouldn't be.
It's a remaster.
It's gonna. That's
No, it's
how I
no,
feel.
it's no. I actually think it's a remake.
Yeah,
It
it's a
has
remake.
with,
sorry.
with
It's
the
a
quality
remake.
of that video, it has to be a remake.
It's a remake. There's no way to just slap better textures.
But
A remake involves redoing all of the animations.
They're re-recording all the audio too.
They're re-recording all the audio
'Cause they're bringing David Hayter back.
They're remaking it.
Here he gets a fedora.
It helps you blend in at dipshit nightclubs.
He goes to a furry convention. He wears a fedora to blend in.
Jake Baldino.
Don't forget to put on the tail,
Yeah.
otherwise they'll recognize you.
He's like, "Do you think they notice me, Snake? These are furries."
I was at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, and I was walking through there, and I'm like, I'm autistic. Is it okay that I can judge other autistics?
You're uniquely fit. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm certified.
Jake Baldino from Gamer Ranks did a video on this because he's a big Metal Gear fan, and I'm a big fan of him. So obviously, I watched it.
What does he think?
He's skeptical, but he also had some screenshots that look like they could be from the game. Still really early on, but it didn't look like a remaster. It looked or a remake. It looked like a remaster.
Sure,
It's a remake.
it's definitely a remake.
I am excited because I'm excited and skeptical because it was my
Because
first
then
Metal
why
Gear
would they?
game.
Why first of all, why would they release the actual remaster? They're not going to remaster it twice. They're releasing Snake Eater 3 or Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in a pack that is called remastered. Why would they not then remake it? It's called Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Yeah,
I'm just shaking my head.
they're also.
This is such a Konami thing. I hate it.
I'm gonna play it.
Coming soon, the Castlevania Symphony of the Night HD pack with playable characters, and we added monsters. $50.
Great.
One of the other big reveals was Bungie's first new game since Destiny 2. So it's been like 7 years since they put out a new game. I think it was Halo Reach, then Destiny.
I'm
then
trying
Destiny
not to.
2.
I'm trying not to be upset today.
I only brought this up because I don't give a shit about it because it's not my type of game. But I'm curious if you guys have ever heard of or played Marathon. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
played
PC shooter.
It was a Mac shooter.
And it was like It was like one of the big breakthroughs for Bungie.
Yeah,
It
back
had a
in
lot
the
of
90s.
Yeah, it had a lot of storytelling. It's in the vein of Doom and Quake, but they didn't have the ability to run Doom on Macs. So this was kind of their response to that. And there was a lot more story to it. There was a lot more like text and reading, and it still essentially feels the same.
Should I be excited about this? This is what is going to be the spiritual successor to those games.
I would say don't get excited about really anything
Okay.
and wait to see some screenshots.
Dylan's right about that. Also, I mean, Destiny was supposed to be the biggest thing since Halo, and it was not for me. And Bungie
For a
sold,
lot of people, it is.
Bungie sold their souls, and they're trying to reclaim their soul. I hope it's great. I have learned not to get excited about anything outside of Nintendo games and From Software.
Well, Sony purchased
I
Bungie
agree.
for $3.6 billion to produce multiplayer games, and this is going to be a multiplayer game with no single player element.
Oh yeah,
to it.
no,
So,
don't be excited
Now I'm
about
I'm
that.
not excited
That
about
is
that.
that is called LOL. No,
Yeah.
Welcome
That's
to
called the
Dylan's
big
new
LOL.
show. LOL, no.
I swear, like just hearing that, I only skimmed like the articles, but I'll tell you, like just hearing that, that's a no-fly zone for me. Bye. You're done.
Yeah.
This is me
I'm not
saying.
gonna play it, but there's
no. I mean, yeah, because it's a market not for us.
yeah,
That-
but there's a big
not
market
for
for
us.
this game.
I'm not somebody that only wants to play multiplayer games. I like to play single player games
Yes,
generally, and the fact that it's multiplayer only,
not for me.
not for me.
Like your hentai games.
How dare they? Halo 1 through Reach were fantastic, and I love playing them online. I love LAN parties.
Yeah.
But the single player was also an important part of the experience. Reach was, I think, the pinnacle for me, but they were all great. And now Bungie, Destiny was fine at times, at best. But I don't know.
I loved PvP in Destiny. I did.
Yeah.
I always have loved it. I liked doing the story missions in order to get like a certain type of gun that I knew wasn't going to be like overpowered, but I knew that I could use properly because you could bring that from there into it. That's something I like. With this, if it's literally just going to be like team death matches or battle royales, I've got no skin
You know what
in
I
that game.
realized too is as you get older and you got work and you got wives and you got shit that you have to do, you don't have a lot of time to play games like you did when you were in high school. When I was in high
Especially with my
school,
second wife,
you just don't have the time. So if I'm going to play games, I'm not going to play a multiplayer only game when there's so much good shit out there for me to play, especially when I like single player games.
If it is the best multiplayer experience ever, sure, I could play it for a couple hours. It's not. I don't think it's going to be that.
who would I play it with? I'd
I
play it
think-
with you guys. And how often are we all sitting in front of the TVs at the same time,
Well, that's
ready
true.
to play the same game?
or having the same systems in general.
It is not a game for us. It's a much younger demographic.
I
they're
wonder.
swinging for.
I wonder
It
here.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
I think the issue here is that there is a level of jadedness. I think that is starting to creep into this industry that I think is going to become a tidal wave after a certain amount of time, because they keep trying to make these service games and they keep trying to make it work in a specific way, and now they're running out of time and they're running out of their like. I'm only thinking of the word like constituents, but the people they serve. They're only
Their
hoping
constituents.
that they're
How that
only
works.
okay.
Yeah.
They're hoping beyond hope this somehow catches fire the way that Fortnite did or any of those
Or
other types of
Overwatch.
games. Exactly. When even that is fizzling out. People are tired of these things. You have to make something so ballsy and new. This is going to create a lot of creativity, which I like, but also we're going to see a lot of this crap for a long time to come.
I mean, if you're going out of the way to make what you're going to say is one of the best shooters ever made, why not craft a great story to go with it? Because if it plays good in multiplayer, it'll play good in single player.
And how do you get this audience, the guys that are sitting around this table right now, to play that game?
Get me a good single player where I
Give me
can
a-
practice the moves.
Get me invested,
That's
and
not
then
that's not the money market they're going for. They're going for those kids that want to sit there and
Exactly.
play for 40 hours every week after school, and they have time for it.
Can I blow up Fortnite? Do you guys want to go and like,
I don't know how, but I
not
suppose-
literally.
just
We're
make
not hurt. We're not going to kill people.
we're gonna blow up. Yeah, I'm down.
I'm in.
We're going to digitize ourselves.
We're going to steal the
gonna-
Declaration of Independence.
We're going to Kingdom Hearts Reloaded ourselves into Fortnite.
This sounds like a movie.
I'm in.
It's like the Gran Turismo movie. We didn't
got-
talk about that, did we?
No, we didn't.
The trailer looks okay. And you know who it has in the fucking movie?
Matt Damon.
Vin Diesel.
David Harbour.
Oh my god,
David
are you
Harbour's
serious?
in
That
it,
man's
yeah.
everywhere now.
Yeah, I don't think he wears
Love
a
it.
hat, but
No fedora. I'm not in then.
Listen, I like his hat.
He's like, you're telling me you're bringing a bunch of gamers to the racetrack?
no, he's good. I swear.
And then Legolas goes, oh yeah. And then some kid's like, I can do this. I play the game Gran Turismo. And it's him on the racetrack with real cars. That's the movie.
I
And
know.
Actually,
Oh,
the
I thought
trailer,
you were just
no,
riffing.
No, and
it's
actually,
really about video. It's a metatextual look at. This is actually partially based on a sort of true story.
that's because someone drove a car after they played a video game, and they're like, "This happened." Dude.
Oh yeah, I read about that kid.
Yep.
Same kid.
Honestly, the trailer was better than I expected.
I think it looks nice. It's got Gareth Edwards.
gonna have to
I like
check this
Gareth
out.
Edwards. Rogue One.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
I expected the worst trailer in the world, so the fact that it's okay is a redeeming quality.
Wait, is Gareth Edwards doing that one Creator? That new sci-fi movie Creator?
I don't know.
You have to see the... I'm not going to show it to you, obviously, but
I don't want to see it.
While he looks for that,
it looks really good.
the only thing I was disappointed not to see at... I'm not going to go through everything that they dropped in the showcase, but the one thing I was really disappointed not to see was the Last of Us multiplayer game because I really enjoyed
I think they're
factions.
going to cancel that, aren't they?
It's not looking good. The Last of Us multiplayer was absent from the PlayStation showcase because Naughty Dog says it's not ready to show, which I think is utter bullshit because Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2020. We are going on our third year of that game. It was originally supposed to be part of the main campaign and the main release, and then they spun it off into its own thing, and then they dwindled the team down, and then they brought in Bungie to, let me see here, Sony asked Bungie to assess the game's development, and Bungie reportedly raised questions about long-term viability of the game and its ability to keep players engaged. So after trimming the staff, they brought in Bungie to look at it, and Bungie's like, nah, not looking.
And we're
good.
into bullshit multiplayer, and
And
this
this
isn't
ain't cutting it.
and we're not into that.
With this getting thrown on the back burner and the writer's strike right now, delaying season 2 of The Last of Us, it makes me a very sad boy.
I support the writer's strike, though.
Yes, absolutely. Just it sucks that it delays a show
Pay your
that
people.
I really.
It's less than 2%.
You fucking assholes! Just give these writers their fair share. They're writing some
Yes.
of the
There's
best
a reason.
content you've
There's a
ever
reason
had.
people like your shit, and it's not because of you.
Well,
You're the only person that they don't like.
yeah. Look what's going to come out. As long as the strike goes on, Netflix is going to get flooded with reality shit because it's the only thing they know how to do without writers.
Unrelated, we don't have Netflix anymore because my sister's Netflix account is in South Dakota, and Netflix is actually enacting no password sharing now in the U.S.
No shit.
And straight up, we were in the middle of a show, and I said, "Whatever," and I went and started watching Succession on HBO instead. Oh, actually,
Great
Max,
show.
but yeah.
Fantastic show.
I have a feeling my mom's gonna call me in a couple days and go like, "Why can't I watch this?" I'm gonna be like,
I was watching that
the
show.
research.
Gordon Ramsay's so great.
"No, she watches dumber things."
And finally, to wrap up Spartacus's portion, we
premium.
had
Plus
Project
premium.
Q.
Bro,
Yay! Everyone loves it.
Project Q.
wait,
is,
are we on the Nintendo?
it is a handheld device. Now, it looks like you took the DualShock and you cut it in half and you threw an 8-inch screen right where the touchpad is.
Wait, no. Are we talking about the Switch?
Nope, this is Project Q, dude.
Huh?
So wait, you're telling me I can take this in the car and play my games on the go?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
The handheld will only stream games via Wi-Fi,
thank
and
God.
so far there is
I would hate that.
absolutely no indication about cellular broadband functionality.
So you're telling me I have to be close to my PlayStation 5 where I have a TV screen hooked up to it to play on my 8-inch screen at home?
bingo. I have a
Take my money,
I
why
have
don't
a
you?
50-inch 4K TV in my room that I play my PlayStation 5 on.
But you know what would be better?
Why the fuck would I want to go sit in the living room and play an 8-inch screen?
Well, let's say that you're at home with the partner and they want to watch their soaps,
That's why we got a TV in the living room.
Oh, okay.
Carly, what's your favorite soap? She can't hear me.
Or she's choosing not to respond.
Fine.
No, but
It's just a dumb idea.
this is the most baffling thing. And
why would you waste money doing this when
It's so bad.
Why
I'm
would
not-
they call it the Q? That's a horrible
That's
name.
it's not what it's
that's how
actually called.
it's just Project Q.
I don't. Well, why would you?
Are they
even
going to
why
do a
would you
triangle
reveal it without a
strategy
name?
or Octopath Traveler?
just call it the fucking Spartacus and call it a day?
Yes.
You have the name.
Sony is so baffling they're
This-
frustrating.
I don't see the application of this.
It's stupid.
It means nothing to me.
If I could play PlayStation 5 games in a vehicle or away from my house, then absolutely I would buy this. It would be great.
And
don't-
it could even be some PlayStation 5 games are compatible on the go.
Then
Doesn't have to be all of them,
I'm
but
still
like
in.
some of them,
Fine.
sure.
Even indies or something.
Make it
like a
give
Steam Deck.
Give me a reason to take it on the go.
But Wi-Fi only? So you're telling me I'm going to leave my beautiful TV that I bought specifically for my PlayStation 5 and go sit in my living room.
I sold a couch in order to fit my PlayStation 5 in that room.
and I'm going to play on an 8-inch screen? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. It's just another device for me to play Hades on.
But you can't. I mean, you can at home. But otherwise, just take your
big TV.
Just take your Nintendo Switch.
Is
and
it
play
like
Hades.
is it like remote play where if you're hooked up to Wi-Fi elsewhere that it can if you keep your PS5 on?
I'm not sure.
Because if it were like that, I could kind of be like, okay, you're at a hotel room, connect to the Wi-Fi, connect to my PS5, awaken it from sleep mode.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring my Nintendo Switch and play it on my 6-hour airplane ride. I want to play in my hotel room on my vacation. I still see what you're saying. Like, at least you're trying.
I mean, you're right.
You're going out of your way to try and find some reason that it could be okay. And I didn't.
I'm searching. I'm digging for applications for this.
They've had remote play where you can play on a device connected via Wi-Fi. I think this is just the device for that. They've like, okay, if you want to remote play, this is how you do it. But it's stupid. When the Switch is there, it's just going to make the Switch look better. And the Switch is going to be better.
And meanwhile, Nintendo is just giggling. Like, they are just so happy right now.
But if Sony doesn't have your money yet with this dumbass idea, they also released they're going to be releasing a pair of in-ear earbuds that work via Bluetooth, so you can use them on your smartphone or whatever device. I don't give a shit. I like
Don't they already make
cans.
those?
Yeah, what?
They have the over-the-ear ones. Now you're getting in-ear ones. The little tiny guys.
They don't make just earbuds.
New ones. I don't know if they have
I
them
bought
out
a
already.
new pair that works fantastically for $30.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I use my EPOS headset for everything, and I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I love it. And honestly, like on the go, the cord doesn't really tangle that much because it's made of this like different material.
Yeah.
Is that nylon?
High quality headphones.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so
So I pre-ordered the Q.
I think the Q is kind of baffling until we know more information about it. It's not something that I need in my life. I have a Switch.
With everything I've heard about this, if this was $100, maybe. Yeah. This is going to be $600.
Yeah, it's going to be stupid expensive.
And you don't got me. You don't have me.
If they had just made another PSP, if they had actually gone into it and gone like
Instead of the PS Wii.
It's going to require some sort of connection somehow because there is nowhere to put a game in it. It's its own thing. It's stupid.
I wish there were some sort of world where you had one of these systems and you connect it to your PS5. And when it's connected to the PS5, you can download, let's
Games
say
to
even
it.
like you can pull some of those games to it, but you have to be signed in on both accounts. That would keep piracy from being a thing.
Or even with the PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Like that's whatever the cloud gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Or say you buy a game on the PlayStation 5. Say I bought Jedi Survivor and it says install and it's like install on console, install on queue. Like you could pick where you wanted to put that game.
And I don't disagree with that, but I also think
put it
that
on
like
both,
I think the issue here ends up being is that handheld gaming is not going to look as good as anything that is actually going to be on your television, and that is PlayStation's huge thing right now. They have the best graphics, they have the best performance. That's something that we all know that they have. But putting that onto, like, playing Jedi Survivor on your little thing here without being connected to the internet is impossible.
Yeah.
And this almost seems like they gave up and said, like, well, let's see what
Imagine
sticks.
pulling up the Hollow map on an 8-inch screen for
Awful.
like the
I wouldn't be
Kobo
able to,
system.
I wouldn't be able
It's
to,
going to be
I would not be able to see what was going on.
No, but like I can see that being a selling point if it functioned like, the Game Boy Advance player where you're able to control what's on screen but have a second screen for menus and stuff.
I don't mind that.
That
That'd
could
be
be
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
A
that
Wii
could be
U
really
type
cool.
thing, give it a touch screen, not bad.
Yeah, now we're
But
cooking
instead,
gas.
PlayStation 5, they're doing so good. All I have to do is just release their games and
All
they
they
win.
need to do is ride.
All they got to do is like, all right, put 16 out, put this game out. We can coast until we die. And instead, they're like,
The main issue here is
sorry guys, but here's our Nintendo Switch
I mean,
knockoff. It's not good.
I'm never going to fault anybody for trying to be like any ingenuity or trying to be creative with it. And on paper, it probably looks like a slam dunk idea.
No, I don't think it does.
This actually seems to me like This is them going full hog on the idea of remote play. They love the idea of remote play.
I've never used it.
The problem with that is that when you did remote play before, you had a whole entire other system with little exclusive games that were made specifically for it that were smaller. So you had a reason to have this other thing that you could connect to something else. With this, it's literally just like, no, it's just your PS5 shit.
I'm not going to spend $400, $600, whatever it is, to play my PlayStation 5 in bed. Which would be the only thing that I would use it for is if I had this for free. If it was
so you can just have it fall on your face when you're too tired.
Well, no, it's like I love playing Tears of the Kingdom in bed for like a good 45 minutes before I fall asleep.
Yeah, that's fine.
And if I had this for the PS5 for free, I would be like, all right, if I'm playing a PS5 game, I can play Elden Ring in bed. Sure.
Like, imagine if this was released with the PS5 and the controller was that. That would have made PS like
it would be a $1,000 console then.
If they sold it for even $700, we'd still all be kind of like, this is awesome.
Yep.
But the fact that it's not like the baked in like
it'd just be Wii.
thing,
It'd be Wii U too.
But
it's hard to. It's hard. I mean, I don't know.
2 out of 3.
Spartacus. You know, all you had to do was nothing, and you somehow fucked it up.
Hey, I got 4 games to look forward to, so I'm not going to buy the queue until maybe I learn more about it.
Are you
but
going to buy it?
You keep doing that.
It depends on
The pricing.
when I can use it.
Yeah. Should we take another break?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll be right back. So, hey everyone, we're back. Dylan, you were mentioning while we were outside that you recently received an entire DVD set of the show Cheers.
Yeah, from my grandfather who passed away. Yeah, I mean,
Cha-ching.
cha-ching. It's a nice DVD set. If anything, it's going to go on my shelf because Cheers is my favorite show ever made. Second only to
Frasier.
Nathan for You.
Two
Joe
different
Pera.
lanes.
Joe Perry talked
Oh
with
my
you.
God, it's really hard to put all of them in order. But I tend to lean comedy with television shows. Have you guys ever seen Review with Andy Daly?
No.
Mm-mm.
Give it a shot.
But your DVD set of Cheers is great.
Yeah, I haven't touched it. I mean, I can stream it on Netflix anytime I want.
Yeah, but if you ever want to watch it on DVD in the future, you're set.
Yeah, man, but I need it in 4K. You know?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
How could I watch Ted Danson not in 4K?
Everyone keeps telling me to watch Ted Lasso.
I've heard nothing but good things.
I
I
feel
don't-
like it's going to annoy the piss out of me.
I hate it when people tell me to do stuff, though, you know?
I really hate it too, man. So
so,
Ninfrendo.
yeah, we saved you for last for good reason.
I understand. We're not just talking about one thing, though. I have a few little topics that we can get into before we get into the coup de grace. They released 3 more GBA games on the little emulator.
Tell me which Mario games we're getting, baby, because I only own them 10 times.
They released Super Mario Advance.
What? Which one is this?
That's Super Mario Brothers 2.
Okay, I've only played that one a lot.
Okay. Then we have Super Mario Advance 2.
Wait a second.
Super Mario World.
Wait, whoa. So the second one's actually the first one?
The second one is the fourth one.
But the first one is the second one.
Yes, correct. And
Okay.
then we have
I don't know how I didn't get that the first time.
and then we have Super Mario Advance 3, Yoshi's Island.
Is that
Oh,
actually
Super Mario
the
5.
third one?
That's Super Mario 5.
That's Super Mario 5.
Excluding Mario games.
Technically the first Yoshi game.
Okay.
Do you follow?
No.
Of all of the amazing Game Boy Advance games to release,
I don't understand it because every single one of those games are available on the other emulators. Every single one of them. And the better versions are on the fucking other versions.
isn't Super Mario All-Stars available on the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Super Mario All-Stars isn't even...
And that's not the best
people
one,
don't
but like they're available multiple times already. And
why are they giving us this?
if the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario... Wait, no. I was thinking Super Mario Brothers 3. No, there's no reason.
There's no reason. Because that's on there too.
Cool. We're excited.
Yeah.
I'm not.
What else you got,
I'm
Nintendo?
confused, if anything.
At least they didn't release a queue, though.
Nintendo has sent a
Xbox sucks.
Nintendo has sent a DMCA takedown to Steam
I hate this.
for the Dolphin
Yeah,
emulator.
this is stupid.
It's silly, but I kind of get it.
There's legal emulation though,
There is legal emulation.
and that's allowed.
'Cause you
Legal
have to-
emulation is allowed,
But you have to own the thing.
but it can be legal.
Cool.
It can be legal though.
It can be.
And the fact that they're sending DMCA's to legal things, it's not illegal just downloading a Dolphin.
I think what this does is it's pressure from their team, their whole entire legal team, to just fucking. It's scorched. It's kind of a scorched earth thing, because can you just go out and get a Wii? Absolutely not.
You wouldn't just download a car?
I mean, I would download a car
If I could. Holy,
if I could, just for free.
holy hell.
I mean, you could probably 3D
I
print
would
a car now.
I
can't you?
download 10 cars.
I'd probably get a few cars.
I have one
crash
for
a
every
couple.
day of the week.
Yeah, man.
I'd probably ride one car like a skateboard.
I'd have one with Dylan's face on the front.
I would have one of them
It'd be called the Demon King.
with giant spikes out front and then shooting laser cannons.
We're not
off
talking
the
Tears of the
side.
Kingdom
No, it's
yet.
okay. It's fine. I'm just trying to figure out what car I would want. But yeah, this seems kind of egregious. They haven't done that for any other ones, by my understanding.
Now, Nintendo is either the best or the worst when it comes to their decisions.
I
There's
just
not really a middle ground with Nintendo.
they're saying it's because there is a certain just a moment, please talk amongst yourselves.
It's because
It's because of the way things are.
It's because the way things are. Nintendo will sue you sue the fuck out of you for your emulators, but then they will take those emulators and release them on their
kinda-
consoles.
They're kind of sneaky about shit in general, because I saw something like they were asking players, like, do you know any YouTubers or anybody you follow that is showing your favorite Zelda Tears of the Kingdom content? And it's like, I ain't ratting these people out.
You know what they should do is they should release Mario GPT, and it's just Mario. Like you ask a question, he just goes Yahoo.
Or he talks like Chris Pratt.
They should get
I'm a very religious conservative.
Easy girl. Whoa.
they should get Nintendogs back, because I'm pretty sure that my dog is very hungry
Yeah.
from my DS. I
Oh,
hope
yeah,
he's doing
I
all
had,
right.
I had a Chihuahua. Man, that thing's fucking sad.
Yeah. I never had it, but
I'm gonna Google how long Chihuahuas live for.
Well, it's less than Nintendogs.
just set your clock back when you turn it back on.
The oldest dog in the world is one from Portugal, I believe.
31?
And it's 31, yeah.
Was it like
And its name is
Boppo or
Bobby.
Boppy?
Boppy.
Yep.
My wiener dog growing up, Tucker.
You named your wiener?
Different name. I'm talking about the dog.
Oh.
Let's make a podcast called Wiener Dogs.
Where we
It's a hot dog review show.
There we
God,
go.
gross.
My wiener dog.
This one is another bet.
Fuck.
This hot dog sucked as well.
It's
We
just as good.
don't support us. We're tired of this. Please.
I had a dog that lived for 17 years,
Holy
which
shit.
is a long time.
See, I got a dog now. King Charles Spaniel mix with something else. She always tells me, and I'm like, dog. It's the same way I feel about cats. I'm like, unless they're like German Shepherds, I'll be like German Shepherd. But anything else, I'm just like, no.
You know, so there can be a female King Charles Spaniel, but can there be a female slow king? Because it should be a slow queen, should it not?
It doesn't matter for them.
Okay, I'm just.
It's all about how you identify. Being a bro is not gender specific. I have female.
Bro, is not. God, that's a good point.
It's true. Like I've called female friends bro.
I call all my friends homies and dudes.
There you go.
Yep.
Every time I take somebody's order at the bar, I say, "Hey guys." It could be, if there's more than one person, I'm saying, "Hey guys."
I say, "Yo, what up, people?" And it's just
It's
me talking to my Legos.
I've actually seen you at your job, and you've poured a beer and you go, "Here you go, white cis male," and then you slide it over.
The thing is, though,
That
you look
is
a lot like
bold-faced lie.
The thing is, though, you look a lot like Jeff Hardy, that country singer.
Fuck.
That's pretty true, man. You wear glasses just like him. You're not wearing them now.
Do you play country music? That's probably not that good.
I could. It's like 3 chords, and then you just pander and repeat stuff. Like something about a truck, something about a girl, something about my dog, and I'm going to drink some whiskey.
My ex-wife's like my tractor. I can't get away from her.
I think my tractor said... Wait, no, she thinks...
She
fuck.
thinks my
No. I prefer this. I think my tractor.
I think my
I think my tractor's sexy.
It really
Excites
turns me on.
Several exhaust pipes to stick my dick in.
to put my wiener on. Okay, so
Take that.
I
music.
wonder like
back to emulation.
Oh my God. I mean, this is just, typical Nintendo. It's some of the things I don't like about them. If you're not making your shit available, you cannot blame people for wanting to get it because you can't play a Wii on a modern television. Trust me, I have a 70-inch television and I have my Wii hooked up to it and it looks bad. Bad. And it's not good. And like it
looks bad, straight up not good.
And it's not good. And like you're counting on secondhand markets to like preserve your games. What is wrong with you? Remaster a bunch of this shit. You can.
They're gonna do live action remakes like Disney. Like we're re-releasing Mario Sunshine, but with Chris Pratt in the role.
Here's my problem: if they made a Zelda All Stars and it was Ocarina of Time: The Master Quest, if it were then paired with Majora's Mask,
they did that for the GameCube.
Yes, but remaster them in 4K or now they can't 1080p because that's all they have.
Just take what they had, make it look good, slap a fucking $60 sticker on it and sell it.
Throw Wind Waker HD in there as well.
They know that they can just sell all these games individually for $60 and get away with it.
People would still pay for them. Preserve your games.
Yeah.
Wind Waker HD needs to be seen by more people because it wasn't, and it's like the perfect version of that video game.
It's one of the only things strapped on the Wii U still. Yeah.
It's surprising. I know now why they released Skyward Sword on before Wind Waker, and it's actually pretty simple. It's because so much of that DNA, the same guy who directed Skyward Sword directed Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
and I think he kind of pushed to have his older game come out on the Switch. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. It's just like, well, not a lot of people played Skyward Sword because you needed a new dongle or you needed an entirely new controller.
A lot of games, they wait till they're released to apologize. But Skyward Sword, they apologize as they announced it. And they're like, we know
you wanted this other thing.
Please play it.
And I'll be honest with you. I think Skyward Sword is pretty good. I don't think it. I think it's really hard to hate a lot of Zelda games. Like to upright downtown Julie Brown hate them. I don't think you can. Have you played Skyward Sword, Brad?
No, but I understood your downtown Julie Brown reference, so I feel that's something.
I think Skyward Sword is amazing, especially for when it came out.
I haven't played a lot of Zelda, to be honest.
That's weird. Which is why I have the opinions I have.
Well, I mean, out of like the 25 Zeldas, I played like 6.
I'm on 3.
There's a lot of Zelda.
I've played
1, Link's Awakening, probably 3 of the handheld ones, and Breath of the Wild.
I have played.
It's like 6 or 7.
I have played 17 of them.
Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild.
Did you play Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land?
That's not a game.
That doesn't count to me.
It's an economy simulator.
What?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've seen videos on
It's
it.
supposed to be pretty cool.
I hear it's fucking awesome, but
I
good
love
luck
me
getting
a
it.
good simulator.
I thought you were going
Lawn
to say a good Tingle.
Let's see.
That too.
me a good
That
All
too.
right, so let's see. Starting from 1, we'll do this live.
We're doing this live, folks.
We're doing it live. I've got the first Legend of Zelda. Beat
Boom.
it.
Nailed it.
We're good. I
Got
played
it.
Zelda 2. I've played Link to the Past.
Yep. Great game. One of the
I-
best. Link's Awakening. Before that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening.
It's the best one.
It's fine.
You love it.
I do love it. But it's like ranking it. I mean, whatever. Then we got Ocarina of Time. We have Wind Waker. Oh, Majora's Mask. Wind Waker. Then we have Twilight Princess. In between there, we have Oracle of Ages.
Oracle of
Seasons. I've played both
The
of those.
mirror. Isn't there one with a mirror something? I forget the handle name.
The Four Swords Adventure.
The Phantom Hourglass.
That comes a little well, it comes right. Well, I've played the Phantom Hourglass, yes. So we're now on.
Is that where he
11.
turns into Flat Stanley?
No, that is A Link Between Worlds, a game I have played. A sequel to A Link to the Past.
It's
I
where it
have
turns
played
into paper.
the
Like
Minish.
Flat Stanley. You
I
can
have-
send him in the mail.
I've played but not beat
I
the
love
Minish
it. It's
Cap.
great.
I have played
Yep.
Breath of the Wild.
What about the train one?
Spirit Tracks?
Yeah.
Haven't touched it. I want to.
You love
I
trains.
know, I really do.
You like trains.
I can't go back to the DS. And I'm sure it's expensive now. Because Spirit Tracks, they didn't make as many copies because Phantom Hourglass didn't sell as much as they wanted to. What am I missing here?
Tingles, Rosie Rupee Land. Just the 2 CDI games.
Am I counting like remasters on my own thing?
No.
No. So I've played 14 of the total.
Yep.
I'm sure there's one.
4 Swords.
4 Swords I have not played.
Yep. Okay.
I can't claim that one. So I've played 14 out of all of these.
But as you were saying something, I forget what we were saying. We were saying something about Zelda?
We were
fine.
still talking about Dolphin.
Dolphin?
The Dolphin emulator.
Yeah.
Oh, because things are trapped on previous consoles,
Yep.
including the Wind Waker HD, which should
Do you know
just
much-
be modernized.
Well, do you know how much money they could make by just making like those Castlevania? You know how like they do like the Castlevania collections, the Contra collections,
just slowly release more and more together and just like
bundle them.
include, hey, we got concept art. It's another $20. And people will be like, sure, there's bonus things.
People will love it.
Yep. Ooh, there's a picture of Link in a bra.
They're not going to do it.
People love bonus shit.
My feeling about
pay.
my feeling about all of this
would
is
pay.
that Nintendo likes to lock this away like the Disney Vault. They're the most Disney-ass non-Disney company that I've ever seen.
Look out. DeSantis is coming for you.
And if there's any way that I'm not an infriendo to Nintendo, it's this.
More like Nintendo. No.
Yeah, it's true.
That's sad, man.
You just being Chad at Xbox has really done some awful things to you.
Dude, I get so angry when Sony is successful now. I'm like, God, I hate them. And I love my PlayStation 5. I only buy physical for the PS5.
Well, I have a dartboard with Tyler's face on it.
I'm
He's
actually
coming after me, and I'm just resentful.
I'm getting
you,
a
Spartacus.
you know, like pin the tail on a donkey. I'm getting one of those, but with the Hamburglar picture, and you have to pin the hat on the Hamburglar.
There we go.
Yep.
I would pin a tail on the hamburger.
No, why don't you pin a burger on his mouth?
Pin a burger on the Hamburglar.
Oh, good.
Well,
Where?
it'll be for the next kids party we go to. I bought pin
When have
burglar on
we
the
been?
Hamburglar.
When have we been invited to a kids' party? That has never happened.
I got invited to my 6-year-old sister's birthday party like a month ago.
Were you
but
dri-
we weren't.
But not you. The Hamburglar was invited. Not
No, I
Tyler.
was invited
on accident.
on purpose.
Oh, okay.
She
Did
loves
they
me.
mean to
It's my little
to
sister.
the hamburglar?
Yeah, my
My
stepmom
secret
was.
theory is that you've been the hamburglar all along, and you just haven't been telling us.
No, I haven't worked at McDonald's since I was
You're
18.
like the second hamburglar. No, you're like there was the original one, and now you had to take over. You're
But
like
you
the new
accidentally killed him
Batman.
when he fell off a roof, and you read the card and put the suit on, and now you're the Hamburglar.
No, it's like the Hamburglar clause.
the hamburglar
Dude,
club.
you caught him trying to steal a hamburger off your roof, and he fell.
That's awesome. Now you have to find a hamburger.
No, it
wife.
was. I was grilling.
I love
out-
this.
I was.
Alan Cumming is playing Grimace in the third one,
No, I was grilling out back, and he tried to steal him right off the grill, and then I caught him.
and he accidentally fell on the grill and killed himself, and you just like put the hat on,
And he ruined the child's birthday party in the process.
and all of a sudden you started like, I have to steal all the hamburgers in town. I'm
I
excited.
have that
This
picture
is-
saved to my phone, and sometimes I just look at
It's
it.
in the Discord.
It rules.
I heard that they're going to modernize the Hamburglar and give him a fedora.
I might have to get a job at McDonald's again then.
Do you guys have any feathers?
He's going to be stealing hearts if he does that.
See, I'm wearing a cowboy hat now. We'll take a pic for the Discord, obviously.
It's a bold strategy.
But I want to put a feather in it.
He's got cowboy energy.
What kind of
though.
feather?
Like, I don't know, like a dirty rat bird, like a seagull.
A dirty rat bird.
No, get a hawk or something
No.
majestic in there.
Give him a
Where am I going to find a hawk, Tyler?
Tyler.
I'll get you a hawk
That's
feather.
ludicrous.
That's
Give me a-
egregious.
That's egregious. That's General Grievous.
That's straight up General Grievous. of
That's
you.
facetious.
That's Jar Jar, you son of a bitch.
That ain't Sabalba.
So about emulation.
It's fine. We're done with that. All I wanted to talk about today was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, released 2 years ago.
Wait, what is Tears of the Kingdom?
I heard it's a Zelda game.
You mentioned earlier in the episode that we don't have sales numbers of things because digital sales.
It's all they can tell us is that it's the fastest selling Zelda game of all time.
I hate so much that we don't get sales numbers for
They won't give
digital
us actual
items.
numbers. No.
They don't want other
No.
people to know.
Did you get you didn't get it digitally. Do you have Breath of the Wild digitally?
I got it twice for free. Physically.
I have physical.
Well, now okay. That's good. Those cartridges are worth money. Like they're printing their own money. That's why I always get physical with Nintendo because that's actually worth more than a CD.
Part of the reason, one of the reasons the writer's strike is happening, apart from the pay discrepancies, but a lot of it is also like streaming. When things move to streaming, they don't get paid anymore, and also they don't release numbers when things go to streaming.
No.
So writers can't say, "Hey, I wrote this episode that was viewed this many times."
And they took
very
away,
sinister.
Netflix took away the actual rating system that users could do with the stars, and now it's just thumbs up, thumbs down, 2 thumbs up.
Or thumb in the butt.
So you couldn't even, as a writer, you couldn't be like, hey, I produced this show on Netflix and it has a user rating of 4.8 stars.
But to segue back to my point, they don't give you the numbers for these Switch sales in the writers' strike as well. But like, I'd like to know how much it's selling digitally as well. But they're not saying that. But
It has to be exorbitant.
But it is the fastest selling Zelda game of all time.
Yes, and that is quite an achievement. I literally think the pandemic has boosted Zelda's profile by probably 1,000,000%.
Breath of the Wild is huge.
I wouldn't even say it was the pandemic.
I would say it's the pandemic.
Well,
the
you look at-
ubiquity of the Switch is one thing.
Animal Crossing's success was part of the pandemic for sure.
I think, but they got it for
Yes.
Animal Crossing. They stayed and then played Legend of Zelda.
I wanted to play Breath of the Wild because of the 3D world.
Yes.
So them switching gears and going to a different style of gameplay for Zelda is what brought me into Zelda.
what do you
Not the
mean?
3D world.
Well,
what you mean is the open world.
The open world.
Because it's
I'm
like
sorry,
it's
yeah.
kind of like the way Go works. If you ever played Go,
Yeah, I like it when the black circle overtakes the white circle.
and that's Link and Ganondorf. Now Ganon is a calamity. He's actually a monster storm.
Can I speak to this just a moment? The story of Breath of the Wild is
I don't- it's not even a spoiler.
So honestly confused in what's going on.
It's so inconsequential.
There are
It's
ancient
John
machines.
Wick. It's fucking. It doesn't matter why John Wick is killing people. It matters that when he kills people, it's great and you like watching it.
There
And-
is a reason.
Calamity
well,
Canyon.
Puppy got killed.
Yeah, that's
And
all it takes
all
for
you
the
need to-
hitman
all
to
you
get
need to
pissed
know
off.
is-
That's all it take for me.
Then he's back in the life.
Link's girlfriend's like, please, and Link's like, okay.
There you go. Yeah, it
That's
is
all
John
Breath of
Wick.
the Wild
He's
is,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, he did a bad thing to all of us 100 years ago. I do not like Zelda's voice actor at all.
I don't love.
It's not good.
I don't
I'm
love
sorry.
Pete Davidson, but there's a really good skit on SNL where he's like the chosen one, and someone just like spouts random bullshit at him. He goes, "All right, okay, yep," and that's all he says in response to like, "You are the chosen one. You must go and fight." He's like, "Oh, okay."
My least
And that's
favorite.
all Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is Link is like, "Oh, okay."
So Link is supposed to be like a cipher for you. You're supposed to have the actual reactions, which I understand. But I miss in Wind Waker where young Link would just go like he would be afraid walking over ledges, and he would be kind of like he wouldn't feel good about it. Or when something
There'd
weird
be
happened,
he'd have personality.
he had an actual personality. He didn't have to talk to have it either. It was all animation.
My personality is I hit things in Breath of the Wild with a Kobo stick.
Yeah. The most personality in Tears of the Kingdom is when I'm calming down my horse and Link goes, oh. And I'm like, all right, he likes horses.
Have you found the skeleton?
Say
horse
hi to your
yet?
mother for me.
Have you ridden a skeleton horse yet?
nice skeleton you got there, horse. This hurts riding you, but how's your mother?
Well, he's got a
How's your mother?
saddle. He's got a saddle, so it works.
I guarantee putting a saddle on a skeleton would still not feel great on your area.
You're
My
going to get a
area?
vertebrae
Your perineum.
right in the taint.
It's called a penis, Brad.
It's called a perineum.
It's called a penis.
Okay.
Okay.
2240.
No, that's a funny joke.
No, but no, I see what you're saying. Link, that's my biggest complaint about one of my bigger complaints about
Breath of the Wild.
and Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah.
Link has no personality, and I'd prefer him to have some sort of personality, but it's the world that has a personality, and it's reflecting off of you.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. The cipher of that is really interesting in the way that they've always kind of done this, but like I would love for him to like actually be a character rather than him just existing in this world.
I would say though that when Zelda is giving a serious monologue about something, and I go and climb a wall and start hitting it with a sword, that is a personality. That is like I am literally describing the history of our planet. I'm like,
When the demons of the Blood Moon fall upon Hyrule.
is this breakable?
And I'm just like, what? I'm like, who do I have to kill? Who do I have to kill?
Can you not make Mighty Simmered Fruit right now while I'm in the middle of a discussion?
Man, it's so funny. Like in the first game when the Blood Moon falls, she's like, oh, this is like a time when bad things happen and it's really awful. And then in the second one, she's like, and then all the lost souls of the dead return from their graves to wreak havoc upon the living. I'm like, first of all, your voice is annoying.
Hopefully you're not a Sagittarius.
Do you want to know what I heard about that voice actress? She said in an interview, I tried to base it off of like Game of Thrones.
I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean?
Yeah,
There's a million actors on Game of Thrones. You could try and base it off of Jon Snow, like
It's no moon. It's no regular moon. It's a blood moon.
I don't want it.
I don't want the blood moon.
I don't want it.
the queen mustn't know about the blood moon.
Yeah. Then you can say Game of Thrones.
Oh, I based it on Varys. Sure.
And what about my favorite Game of Thrones character? His name is Dopey. You guys ever heard him?
How does Dopey talk to him?
Oh, I gotta get to the throne. I can't do him.
Gosh, that's a blood moon, Sora. Look at that. I bet all the souls of the dead will come back.
Well, there's a lot of killing happening here.
Wow, that moon's pretty red, huh? It's pretty crazy. Well, say hi to Ganon for me, all right?
You guys haven't seen that episode yet?
So you're like a bird person, huh? That's crazy, huh?
Wow.
So you like fly around and shit, huh?
You heard about this volcano people? They're like made of stone.
They
It's
eat
weird,
rocks. They eat rocks.
right? I thought that was from Never Ending Story. Whatever.
Yeah, this this game is brilliant.
I don't like it as much as Breath of the Wild so far.
Why
I don't like that.
and how?
This game is 100% built on vehicle creation.
See, okay.
You haven't got the last power.
Well, that's fine. No, that's all fine. But Breath of the Wild, the way it slowly opens up based on you gaining enough of your abilities to where you
It's
can.
not about vehicle creation.
Well, Breath of the Wild,
Part of
I
it.
have to earn my stamina in order to get up certain areas. It gatekeeps you based on your abilities, whereas this one, the entire world is essentially completely open, and almost all of your abilities are very open right at the beginning.
Well,
And you said in the Discord, and I was very drunk when I read this, that like you said Breath of the Wild was a proof of concept, and this is like
the actual game that I wanted.
and I liked the proving of the concept. I liked them, like the ideas being fleshed out. And once you start Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, you don't get your paraglider right away. Outside of that, though, once you get it, it's extremely open. And I'm not saying I don't love Tears of the Kingdom. There's me.
Oh, I know.
It's me
I know
saying
what
a 9
you're
out of 10. 9 out of 10 is I'm just cautious
Yeah.
about it.
No, I understand.
Breath of the Wild, I mean, this game is just so heavily based on your new abilities of fusion and then like the Ultra Hand. The Ultra Hand is like,
amazing.
It's amazing.
Telekinesis
And-
from the first game.
but being able to fuse it to stuff, it's just,
Lovely.
to me, it's 80% of the game. And I love it, but it's too much of the game for me.
But it also does, and it solves a lot of the problem of having way too many of those. Because essentially, let's put it this way: you have 4 techniques. You have 4 based
Are we talking about Breath of the Wild or are we talking about Tears?
tiers.
Or both, probably. But
The fuse, which is amazing. You
I
can
love
power yourself up so hard if you find the right items. It encourages exploration.
the first time I took a rocket and put it on a shield, and I'm like, I wonder what happens. And I pulled the shield up. I was like, holy shit.
This game is truly about discovery. This game is truly about like figuring out how things work.
Can I make a helicopter? Can I make
You
this?
absolutely can. You can make almost anything.
And I love that. The physics engine's insane.
The depths are more amazing than you think. Always explore the depths. This is Dylan's pro tip. There is like that dark mechanic of exploring and throwing light bloom seeds.
Shooting them. Love it.
Oh, I don't shoot them. That's a waste of arrows. You can throw them.
You can shoot them much farther.
I don't.
I use less bright bloom seeds and more arrows.
I can see the light roots. I just know where I have to know
can't
where
see
to go.
the chasms though.
Can't see the chasms, but if you are liberal
see the
enough,
chasms.
I got this great little like cart that with like fans built on. I was like riding it and having a great time, and some like giant frog ate my cart, and it was a major bummer.
yeah, it happens, man.
So you ate my cart, huh? That's crazy.
So
I'm 10 hours into Breath of the Wild.
Okay, well,
So I got a ways to go.
So people on the Discord are talking about how they fall off of Breath of the Wild. And I agree with them. There is a way that I have fallen off of it too. The world is a little too sporadic. There's not much going on. There aren't many actual quests within that game. There are main objectives and side things you can either choose to do or fuck around and, just go off into the distance.
At 10 hours in, I'm still to the point where I can like, oh, I see that thing up there. I'm going to go try and get there. So that's
Right.
fun. But the world does feel kind of sparse
It's
and empty.
So you're getting Korok seeds, you're getting shrines.
Yeah.
You're delving into the towns and the cities and getting like items and equipment that you might not get in other places, right? Because then there's the cooking system and yada yada. But then there's the main quests are getting the divine beasts together.
question:
Yes.
What do you think it would be difficult for somebody to have not played Breath of the Wild?
Yes, I
But-
think it would be absolutely difficult.
I think you need all of those that
need
verb
the
set
knowledge.
and knowledge and experience because
It is like
otherwise,
playing a completely different game. You're exactly right. I have like even said like if you don't like it, do all the divine beasts, go defeat Ganon. Get the master. No, get the do all the divine beasts, get the master sword, go defeat Calamity Ganon, because then you have like the scope of what this game wants you to understand.
and the knowledge of the world it wants you to build on because it is
Exactly.
taking this like it's not only like the gameplay, but you need to know what happened before. Like
They catch you up quite a bit.
They catch you up quite a bit, but also when you go back to a village, like to the Dorito village, and
Yeah.
you see what's happened since then, and they build on it,
Right.
That's important.
I would absolutely agree with you. And I think that that's actually like one of the cooler parts of Tears of the Kingdom then. It's like you recognize something that you saw before. And correct me if I'm wrong, do all the divine beasts like blow up in
They're gone.
Breath of the Wild?
I believe they leave. I've only done one of the phenomenon, and it was underwhelming compared to a divine beast.
I did not like the divine beasts.
I didn't love the divine beast, but at least they felt more meaty. I was able to, a little drunkenly, let's say I was pretty drunk, and
Just do it.
I did the whole thing in like an hour. Whereas the divine beast, I remember being
Oh, I did the divine beasts in like 20 minutes.
I remember them being more of a like.
Like I like the mechanics where you can move parts of them.
It seemed more three-dimensional, multi.
Everything. So everything is based off of your new sage's abilities, and so you have these companion characters that come along with you now. And I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a spoiler because you're just going to find this out sooner rather than later. You can have all of them with you at the same time.
I kind of figured.
I thought that was just going to be like you choose the one you want.
Let's see, this is a spoiler, but
I mean, I don't like it.
I also
won't
don't
matter.
care. I also don't care.
That's not something that's going to ruin anyone's
I don't know.
experience.
It's a weird thing where people draw the line at spoilers. Because I remember with Game of Thrones being very upset where someone's like, "I'm not going to tell you who died, but this person's there." I'm like, "Well, you spoiled they didn't die," and that's
Yeah.
a spoiler.
Well, when
That
it comes
is-
to TV shows, though, like just the instance of a character being in a specific spot or talking to somebody in a show like that, that's a spoiler.
You know what's a spoiler is before you watch John Wick 4, and there's already a news article like John Wick 5 in early development, and I'm like,
Oh, so he survives.
maybe.
Well, he does.
There's
Have you
also
seen John Wick 4?
No,
Dude, it's so fucking good.
I have to see
Does
it.
he punch more people
I will
with
say
guns?
one spoiler warning: nunchucks.
Okay.
with guns?
He's
No,
slippy,
dude.
he just slippy slaps.
This is the best John Wick since the first one.
I mean, I'll watch Keanu Reeves beat dudes' asses.
Every
Every day.
John Wick is kind of like Link, in that whatever's around, he can use to fuck you up with.
I do like.
At least Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Link.
Well, for me, here's the thing.
I love just like fucking ultra handing a giant stone and holding it over an enemy and dropping it.
The depths.
I'm a simple man.
The depths and then the sky have been so interesting to me.
I agree.
And then I have gotten all the dungeons with the sages, except for the last one, which is a spoiler, so I'm not going to say. And then I've also gotten the
It's
Master
Mario.
Sword.
Mario's got his own.
Fuck, dude.
I have solved where the Master Sword was by myself. Never looked up anything on this game, even when I was like struggling.
I love Tears of the Kingdom. I am enjoying every moment. I'm savoring it. And I am actually, oddly enough, usually like Breath of the Wild, I beat that game.
You were also in a really bad place in your life.
I had recently broken up with a girlfriend and that I was living with, and she needed like 4 or 5 days to like get her shit together and move out. And Tom's like, you can stay here. I'm out of town. So I was at Tom's house, Tom's apartment, and I just played Breath of the Wild at his house 24/7 for like 5 days. And it was chef's kiss. It was great. And this is also right after my mom died. Like there was a lot going on in my life.
Right.
And Breath of the Wild, which was a game that I hadn't played. I actually got a Switch almost specifically to play Breath of the Wild.
Sure.
And no, it was great. But
I-
Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not good at savoring games. I usually like to just kind of like what you have
Blow
done with
through
Tears of the Kingdom. It's not even blow through them. It's just play.
I've been savoring it
It's
the entire
but
time.
it's playing obsessively. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom is rather a game that I always want available in 2-hour increments every other day.
Sure.
Like it's just so great to just throw it on and go exploring. The one thing that I wish they did more gatekeeping on. Almost immediately, I'm able to fly and climb everywhere I want to go. And I wish they did more. You have to build up stamina to go further distances and climb up higher.
I was able to do it pretty well in Breath of the Wild right away.
Breath of the Wild does a fair amount of gatekeeping, though. Where there's certain things you can't climb up until you build up your stamina. And there was a little bit more that I appreciated. In this, Tears of the Kingdom, it's
I
almost...
think the fact that they're using the same map makes that ineffective as an effective way to get across and do anything.
I
They
feel...
didn't want you to.
Tears of the Kingdom almost makes you feel less creative. So you can, there's a million solutions to every puzzle, but when almost every puzzle solution I use is take platform, lift it up, and then jump on it and hit reverse time. I have skipped so many things that I'm supposed to solve one way because there's just the super easy, stupid way that I can do it.
Right.
And there's too many options to where I don't have to be as clever to come up with a solution. And
Well,
that I don't love.
That's all a matter of choice then.
Well, it's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of it's in the game.
Oh yeah, but that's
Straight
still
up
choice.
EA
That's your
Sports,
choice.
dude. It's EA Sports, bro.
But it's choice for you. Like you're still relatively early in my opinion.
I am. I'm only about 10, 15 hours, and you're
There
like
are-
80.
There are some shrines where you
How many
cannot
hours
fuck
do you think
around.
you got in?
Oh, I looked the other day. It was 85.
Damn. And you haven't beaten it yet?
No, because
Taking your time.
I have 25 hearts and I have 3 full stamina wheels.
I've heard that 100 hours ish is if you're like kind of completionist is the time frame. Not even like 1,000 Korok seeds, but all shrines, all dungeons, or whatever.
See, but I also
There's a guy that beat it in 94 minutes.
but they also probably got their
they
copy
probably didn't do a
earlier.
lot of stuff.
No, they probably,
Didn't do anything.
yeah. Probably
Or they
just-
got their copy 2 weeks earlier and they got to practice. So
We're not going to call anyone out, but
that's
It's
exactly
a little
what happened.
suspect.
it's a little suspect.
That's extremely suspect.
Yeah.
It's in fact fucking suspect.
So
Can
I've-
I ask you guys a question
Yeah.
as somebody who's only played 10 hours of Breath of the Wild? Is the crafting
Link is still hot. Oh, sorry.
Not
He's
what
fine. I like
that
when
was
he
my
has his
follow-up
long
question,
hair.
so I'm glad you answered that. I'm getting ahead of it. Is the crafting with weapons as cool as I
Yes.
thought it was going to be?
It takes a minute to understand the positioning and crafting of weapons.
Because I
but
saw
there
a
are-
guy put a hoe on a hoe.
What's cool about this game is that when you enter certain dungeons, some of these or like certain shrines, they will teach you like how to make things intuitively. And what they do with that is that they're like, well, you just kind of do it like this. And at first I found it clunky, but after a minute of doing it, after like being forced almost to practice it, I suddenly realized that I had like I can build things like nobody's fucking business. In fact, there's a final power you get in the game where it's not a spoiler. It's called auto build. You can auto build things. You can save creations.
This is something that I've heard about, despite trying not to.
I wish that happened with recipes
I agree.
in Breath of the Wild.
Well, there
'cause
are recipes.
No, they're recipes, but
You have to like go into you have to make something and then you have to go into it and look at the recipe to see what you put
Discovering
into
the
it.
recipes is awesome.
I like that, but there should just be a book.
What is
They
it-
should have
what
a
do you-
fucking cookbook.
what do you
in the
make-
goddamn game?
What do you make in Breath of the Wild where it's like questionable food?
Dubious food.
Dubious food.
It's called dubious food.
It's called college.
I
It's
thought
like I have ramen and I have canned tuna.
and ramen plus apple. Dubious food.
it's just prison food.
It's called hot lunch.
I crushed
Still
up
heals
some
you.
flaming hot Cheetos and I threw it in the ramen to make it spicy. It's dubious.
I don't know if
that
it's
sounds good.
dubious. I think it's kind of
That's
gourmet.
prison food.
I think
eat
it's
that.
gourmet.
Gourmet.
I just don't know. I don't know what else to say about this game. This is my obvious game of the year. It's not going to be. It's not going to be superseded. It's
Well, I'm
just
going to say
not.
it's still early, but
It doesn't matter, man.
I know you're
it's
right, though,
Done
too.
for me.
He's gonna lock.
You know I'm
He's
right.
probably gonna lock it in.
I guess I'm just.
I'm locking it in right now. There's no way that any game can do what this game has done to me, like mentally. Like I have. Like the reason I have so many hours in the game isn't because I was trying to do quests.
You
it was
genuinely
literally because
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed playing around within the world. I'm like, if I do this, what if this happens? And sometimes it really worked. Sometimes it was disastrous.
I'm almost scared of its depth.
We're entering the true simulation.
Well, what I like to do is I like to make a save, and then all right. What can I do with these?
Yeah.
And I go and do it.
Oh, I've never saved on my own. It's all autosave, baby.
I'll do a save, but then I'm like, I'll waste all of like because I still have finite resources, and I try and see what I can do and push.
Yeah.
And there are things that I don't think I should be able to get to from where I'm at, and I'm able to do it. I watched a
It's so satisfying.
Grand Pooh Bear, one of my favorite Mario speedrunners. I've been watching a lot of his Tears of the Kingdom stuff, and on the first island, the first, the floating sky island, whatever.
Yeah, that's the first time.
You get through all of the easy like the ones you have to go around, and then they say actually you have to go back up to another spot, and they want to give you fast travel. And Grand Pooh Bear said, "I don't want that. I want to try and get up there without it." And I watched him struggle for a long time. He was able to build stuff and figure out a way to get up there without using any fast travel. And then what I've seen built out of vehicles later, it's people made TIE fighters.
I've made
That's insane to me.
I've
straight up TIE
made like a
fighters.
B2 stealth bomber. And with the amount of charges that I have and the amount of shit you can collect, you can literally just fly across the map because there are points where you get control sticks.
You can make 4x4s. You can make anything. You can make a badass like
ramps.
a sled vehicle with like spikes that like clamp on the front and just like smack things. There's literally no
I've
limit.
tried making the mech, but some of those parts are hard to come by.
Yeah, I saw somebody make a giant like robot, and then like the wiener explodes, and then
Yeah.
it all falls apart. I'm like, even that's cool.
It-
I'm in on
to
that.
me, it sounds like years ago when Elder Scrolls 6 had that stupid little like, "Hey, look at there's some land."
Oh, you mean years ago when they announced the game that we haven't seen anything
Yes.
since?
They said they were waiting because the magic system was going to be whatever spell you can think of, you can cast. Was the mission early on?
That's not going to work.
So Aloha Mora or Fire?
I mean, it's not
Fire.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. But
Oh, it's a fire guy. I'll use water.
that concept to me, that whatever I think I could do in this game, kind of broke my brain at the time, because this was 5-6 years ago.
I just don't like that every puzzle I've gone into can be solved in pretty dumb ways as well.
How many shrines you got?
I've done probably 40, 50 shrines.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Holy shit! How many hours have you played?
15?
How many fucking shrines are there?
There's probably 200.
There's
Jesus.
no, the shrines and like the phenomenon or whatever they call the sages. Yeah.
They're a little different. Also, you get a heart every time you do an actual dungeon.
One thing I like about Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm not a big Zelda guy, but I know that the entire, like, people that are lore hounds or history people for how.
Yeah, me, essentially.
Because I went down this strange thing and I fought this strange thing, and then all of a sudden it says this mask was like summoned from the moon a long time ago. I'm like, so wait a sec, this is Majora's Mask or something?
Yeah.
And the way that they bring in the universe into this world, I know, it's not for me, but
Have you heard where this is on the Zelda timeline?
it's on it.
It's a sequel. It's technically a sequel to the Breath of the Wild is a sequel to Link's Awakening, by my understanding.
Okay, so this was after he became flat.
So he
Stanley.
awakes twice.
So did he get flat?
He always does.
Because imagine if he could fold himself into a paper airplane and fly in this world.
I love Ganondorf in this.
Well, it's because he's hot daddy Ganondorf. He's
like,
Ganon daddy.
This is my guy. I'm here for him. I've gotten all the tears straddled across the kingdom, scattered across the kingdom. Scrattled. And I'm just going to say, go get all the tears. Just do it.
I planned on.
Eventually, but just get them now.
No, goal one for me is unlocking the map and doing whatever shrines I can easily see.
That's fine.
And then whatever consequentially just happens along the way.
Yeah.
Goal one for me is beating Breath of the Wild.
And that's why
You can achieve that a lot easier than you think.
But that's the way I did Breath of the Wild. I went to all of the towers to
me too.
unlock maps, and then I did whatever shrines I could, and then along the way, I'm like,
Can I say how much more I like these than the Sheikah Towers? I think the Skyview Towers are brilliant. They're higher up. They shoot you higher up. They shoot you
I saw
into the
Brad
sky.
do one.
it's cool flying up. I like the Sheikah Towers too, though.
But now there are like little quests to open them up. Like there are actual
You're being
awesome.
pretty generous.
No, there are some
They're
of them,
like something's on top that's blocking it. I don't know what to do, and I just climb up it and I just move something. And they're
but at
like,
least it's not just climbing.
but no, there was
It's
but there was
literally
also
just climbing.
there were puzzles though before with climbing where it'd be like this one's covered in goop, and it's not a great puzzle in Breath of the Wild, but
It's not good.
But it was a puzzle.
I
There-
came across one where it was like, I can't get up there, and then I looked to my left, and there was like an easy jump, and I'm like, okay, so I have to get up there and then jump, and then I can climb.
See, but that's cool.
The one that I did
it's
today
also-
was the biggest puzzle so far, where I do ascend.
Yeah, there are some of them where it's sort of like, oh, there are a bunch of thorns around here, and I'm just like, I put a piece of flint on the ground, sparked a fire, and all the shrub burned away.
And they're
I was
like,
all right,
I haven't been stoned in a week, and you put the marijuana and you hit it with your flint.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the dude's stoned and he's like, "Aye, dude."
I did
you're
one
fine, man.
absolutely wrong, and I glitched it really hard. It was one where there were a bunch of these like these platforms that always hover. You don't have to activate them. They don't use battery. They just hover wherever they are,
And
they have rockets attached.
And you have to
them.
bring up the green stone.
No, but this was for a Sheikah Tower, or not a Sheikah Tower, a Skyview Tower.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What I ended up doing is that I ended up putting probably like 15 bundles of wood down.
Yep.
And then what I did was I attached a rocket to my shield, and then I lit all the piles of wood on fire, jumped into the upward current that happens from
Rode it up as high as you could.
I rode up as high as I could, and then I used the rocket.
Yeah.
And then I was there.
Damn.
And they didn't, that's not what they wanted from me. And I also was like, there was a literal puzzle where I felt so stupid. And it also felt like it was locking me out quite a bit. But I said, I'm just going to brute force this. And I was really just like stacking things specifically. And then I got up it. I was like, all right.
I love it. It's great. I love the creativity. But if every puzzle can be solved an infinite number of ways, I don't feel, when there's a puzzle that like you have to, there's like one way or a couple ways to solve it, and you have to find the right way to do it. You feel clever and you figured it out. Whereas if there's literally any way to do it, it's less rewarding when you don't have to parse out the correct, or like not the correct way, but like a unique way. And my brain isn't getting challenged to the point where I have to find the way that they intended.
Sure.
I'm devil's advocate here because someone needs to be.
Because now you're doing exactly what I did with Breath of the Wild. Because in Breath of the Wild, I was searching for a reason to make me connect to the older games that I've played so much of. What you're doing is kind of like the reverse, but for Breath of the Wild, rather than me feeling a certain way about the other Zelda games that came before.
Yeah.
Where in this one, the infinite possibilities are the reward.
Well, but
the reward is the satisfaction of knowing
it's someone
that
going
you
to the panda
fucked
going,
something up.
"Ba-do-do-do." But in Link's Awakening, in A Link to the Past, the puzzles are solved a way.
There's only one way.
And when you solve it, you got it and you get it.
Well, but that's also like, you also have to take into effect that a normal person playing this, like your average Joe, is not going to approach things the way that maybe we do. We have such a language of video games. But anyone else playing this is literally probably going to solve the puzzle the way it's going to be. Us doing it this way is almost Nintendo begging us to be like, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. It's brilliant.
I mean, I'm not going to say I don't love a 9 out of a 10 game. It's also not the prettiest game I've ever played. It chugs. There are frame slowdowns in major ways at some parts.
I actually haven't experienced any of it.
I have. Like, just lifting up a platform and all of a sudden it's like... I have experienced frame slowdown many times, and also the draw distance is shit.
I'll tell you, you're right.
Compared to Elden Ring, where I can look like across like the continent, and I can still see enemies.
But
moving.
I can tell you this: the load times not bad. I thought the load times in this were going to be egregious, and I thought they were going to be awful. And here's the thing: this is on hardware it should not be on.
On the Switch 2, this game is going to be gorgeous.
And they'll eventually do it.
Didn't Breath of the Wild come out on the Wii U?
It sure did.
Sure did.
So this is essentially still working on a Wii U engine.
Look at my Nintendo brain.
This is literally,
Yeah.
they literally said like all the shit we wanted to do would have been impossible because we had to put this on the Wii U as well. That's insane. That's 10-year-old technology.
And they're like,
Yeah.
forget that Sheikah slate. We got a Purapad today.
I love
Is that what the new one's called?
Yep, because they're like, we're saying a Wii U no more. Now we got a Switch.
all of that Sheikah technology goes away.
I heard they were going to call it the Q, but PlayStation beat them to it.
They probably
Yeah,
sent them
I heard that-
cease
I
and
heard that
desist.
as well.
Cease and desist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You've locked in your game of
my
the
game
year.
of the year.
I'm going to say my front runner is Jedi Survivor, and mine
that's
a
my second.
buggy mess. My game bugged out more times than I can count. I had to restart several times, but the story of that game was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Front
like,
runner for me, and I don't think I'm not a big Nintendo guy. I enjoy Zelda. I've enjoyed Breath of the Wild so far. I don't see there's any way in hell that Tears of the Kingdom beats Jedi Survivor for me.
That's
I straight up,
fine, yeah.
and I straight up haven't played Gollum yet, but I'm gonna probably say Tears of the Kingdom for me so far.
I am very excited to crash
like I
some
said
vehicles.
though, I haven't played Gollum. I haven't really got a lot of time into the world of Smeagol because there's a morality system, and you can say be Smeagol or be Gollum.
You can kill the beetle,
And I feel
or
like
play with the beetle.
That's how I live my life. Someone's like, "Hey, go kill this guy," and I'm like, part of me wants to ask for fish. The other guy wants to. The other part of me wants to slap him. So
Life as an electrician must be wild. People
So-
asking you to kill people.
honestly, I'm gonna go Tears of the Kingdom so far.
I'm excited to play it.
It was Jedi Survivor for me, and I found that game to be emotionally
Yes, the
brilliant.
story was
It's-
fantastic.
It's phenomenal. There's some depth there. There's some writing that I haven't seen in a video game ever.
Didn't you say it's your favorite piece of Star
That's
Wars
what I was-
media
my
ever?
favorite piece of
I
Star
agree
Wars
with you.
media ever made.
I agree with them.
I think it's
100%.
my favorite
You
Star
saw-
Wars. It's my favorite Star Wars thing ever made.
And I am in the same camp. It is the best Star Wars content I've ever consumed, and it is by a mile. It's not even close.
It's the pure like there's a lot of context you have to gain from the other ones, but that's not to say that the other ones don't require the same thing. I think that Jedi Survivor is so engrossing in the way that it tells its story. It can be obvious at time when one dude turns out to be one dude.
But so you're saying it's your favorite
I
piece?
saw it the moment the game started.
You're saying it's your favorite piece of Star Wars media ever. Did you see Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, I loved when Palpatine summoned a bunch of Star Destroyers from the sand.
Also, Rey's
And then they
mother-
all rode horses on it.
Also, this is the 100,000 Sith Lord ghosts that are somehow here and controlling everything.
They're not ghosts, they're actual cultists.
And also, we're riding horses here. And also,
I think Cal Kestis' story is unique in the way that
I just want to talk about Rise of Skywalker now.
Cal Kestis is
I would
unique.
love. I need to watch it again.
His story is unique because of the
he's
casting.
a quitter, but he's also a quitter. He's like a quitter in the way that
I haven't played them yet. I
No.
don't know if I want to get spoiled
that's the
anything.
opening of the game.
Oh, the first one or the second
one?
one?
The first one.
Okay, I'm scared.
Yeah,
with
no-
how highly you're speaking
I'm
of
not
this, I don't want any
I'm not
spoilers.
revealing
Yeah, no
anything.
spoiling. It's just his performance.
If you say his lightsaber is a right angle, that's a spoiler to me. You know.
his performance in both games, especially the second one, you can tell that he is a phenomenal actor. And if anybody
Yeah.
who's seen Shameless, they know that he's got range. He also played the Joker in Gotham, not my show.
Or in the Batman.
Oh, he played the Joker in Gotham.
He
yeah,
didn't play the
I'm-
Joker in Gotham. He played the Joker.
no, in the TV
No, that's-
show
Really?
Gotham.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Okay.
Which
You're
is not
thinking
a
of
show.
the
CW one.
Yeah, if you're thinking of the Batman, it's that Barry Keoghan or something.
Yeah. No. He's a phenomenal actor, and I can never remember or pronounce his name, and that's a disservice to him because I've enjoyed a lot of his content. I should really fucking learn that.
everyone, all the voice acting, all of the performances. It's about the building of like a family. It's really like it's insular almost. Like it says, go out into the world and do whatever you want, but the mantis is always going to be there, and
Yeah.
it's always going to be like
And
this
the-
pivotal part of you.
The mocap for the cinematic scenes are so well done. There's a lot of
Man.
emotion in the face, and it all looks very natural, and it allows him to have a very almost theater performance.
It's really
or
good.
like it seems like you're watching a movie at times.
I was so intrigued by this. Like even at the parts that I found annoying, a little bit because some of the puzzles aren't my types of puzzles. I'm just like, well, what the fuck ever.
The amount of times I said "fucking stupid piece of shit" was a lot with the puzzles, but overall I really enjoy it.
For the most part, it works.
You know, after doing God of War Ragnarok's puzzles, where there's just three people yelling at me the solutions, anything after that is fine.
This one, it'll say request a hint or say nothing. So you can go blindly
Request
the
a
whole
hint
time.
or tell Mimir and Loki to fuck off.
Yep, essentially.
And the puzzles aren't as hard as you think, but sometimes there are like jump gaps that I thought I would never be able to reach, so I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I surely can't make this. And I wasn't going to test it, but it wasn't obvious that I actually could. There was no like hint in the environment.
Ooh, I was the other way. I was like, I can make that, and then I did not make that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is honestly, it's a
heard
3D, it's a 3D Metroidvania.
Well,
It's good.
I don't think we have to do what we've been playing because I think that's
I
been
think
this is what we've been playing.
yeah. So do you boys have a one for the road before we wrap this thing up?
Sure. I've been reading a manga called Asadora. It's made by
Can you spell it?
Asadora with an exclamation point.
Just so it's easier. Just so people can find it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. It's made by Naoki Urasawa, and he's one of my favorites of all time. He made 20th Century Boys, Monster, the Pluto, which is basically his collaboration with the family of Tezuma, who made Astro Boy, and he made his own version of Astro Boy. Very good. But Asadora is this story about a little girl in 1950s Japan who makes an unlikely friendship during a hurricane or a typhoon, and they don't know why. She keeps hearing like these monster cries in the distance in the water, and she eventually becomes friends with this pilot, and then it's kind of hinting at that there are giant monsters lurking in the oceans, but you never see them.
Can you close that?
Are you getting that?
I don't know if I'm getting the dog or not. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's very good. It's a slow burn, and it's kind of more slice of life, but the illustrations are fantastic. He's a master. So yeah, Asadora.
How many issues are released?
There are probably like 7 or 8 volumes right now.
Okay.
And I only started because I was like, I don't want to read about a little girl. And then I learned what the premise was, and I'm like, Naoki Urasawa, you bastard.
Do you go to comic book stores, or do you often just order your manga online and have it delivered?
I read a lot of reviews, and then I like spoiler-free reviews, and then I decide whether or not I want to go into it. But also, I go to Lost World of Wonders over in West Allis. That is a brilliant comic book store. Their manga selection is often tight because things sell out, but every time I'm there, I try to buy at least 2 things from them because they're a local comic book shop. So
Yeah, you got to support.
yeah,
Every time I go into a comic book store, even if it's just to kill time,
yeah,
I will grab something.
yeah, gotta.
My one for the road is No Dogs in Space season 3. Just came out on Spotify. Marcus Parks and
Oof.
yep. I forget the
Carolina
girl's-
Hidalgo.
Yes, thank you.
That's a great name.
Carolina Danger Hidalgo.
Is that literally her middle name?
That for this season it is.
Oh, okay.
But they're starting with the monks, which is a very interesting story. The first episode came out, and Marcus Parks has got the voice of an angel. I'll listen to him say anything.
I can listen to him talk forever.
He is probably my favorite podcaster, and I just like how he deep dives on like his tale when he's telling a story, especially something history related. He's so thorough. Really enjoy it, and I'm a big fan of VH1 Behind the Music, and this is like Last Podcast on the Left meets VH1 Behind the Music, and they just smash them together, and they're covering the Monks right now, which is a crazy band I had never even heard of.
I might give it a shot. I'm
out
just
of
not
West
really
Germany.
Carly's a huge fan of No Dogs in Space.
Yeah.
This season, the Monks, the first episode, I listened to it in one sitting, and I very rarely listen to podcasts when I'm home. Unless
I listen to podcasts while doing video games.
If
all
I'm
the
cooking or if I'm cleaning, I'll listen to one. But if I'm just chilling at home, I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm playing something or watching something. And I got home and I listened to the entirety of the podcast, like the last, 60 minutes of it, just sitting in my room with my headphones on.
It's a unique experience having the history of a band paired with the music. Most of the time you check out a band, you're like, oh, this is, the Replacements or whatever. And you listen to the music and you have you think that's a perspective, but then you hear about them going on tour. What happened here?
Yeah, all
and
the
the band
shit
members.
that happens.
And it's also, I remember being in high school and thinking it was stupid when our English teacher was trying to say, like, this is the author and what was going on when they wrote this story. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I want to know about the Grapes of Wrath. But it's actually incredibly
You
important
thought
to
they
know.
were just the California raisins with like spears and axes.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. But it turns out perspective on the music scene at the time and like all the surrounding matters of the band is incredibly interesting and important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic podcast. And I'm a big fan of the Last Podcast on the Left. And to have all of a sudden another avenue with a back catalog for me to binge, fantastic.
Back catalogs are fun.
Yeah, I'm a happy boy right now.
I am going to recommend a book by Christopher Pike called Season of Passage. I'm about a quarter of the way through it. I started 3 days ago. It's not a small book. It starts off horror and themes of sexual assault and sci-fi, and then it turns into a Mars trip and interpersonal drama, fantasy, and I don't know where it's going, but the fact that it opens up with like a nightmare of a skeleton astronaut raping a woman, there is a theme that is lingering in the background where I know where it's heading, and I'm terrified. Reason I started reading it is Jamie Flanagan and Mike Flanagan this is a script that they have written for what they want to be a new science fiction film. They pitched it to a few studios. So it could potentially be a feature film coming from one of my favorite directors, favorite writers. And so I'm very excited. The book's great. It's been a long time since I picked up a book and I don't want to put it down. I'm just like engrossed and thoroughly invested.
Well, that's why you should read books with pictures.
It helps, but
I saw it on your coffee table and I took like a double glance at it. It looked pretty cool.
it's very good. I highly recommend Season of Passage. Yes. Cool. On the next episode, since this is going to be the topic for this episode was Tears of the Kingdom First Impressions, because it's impossible not to talk about those for too long.
Oh, expect more.
There will be a live Dogcast episode, the Dogcast live at Summer Games Done Quick. Tyler and I are heading there next week with your brother, Justin, and my co-host from Need for Speed Running, Luigi's Apartment. And we are going to play Zelda all the way there. And then
Justin's driving too, so we got free reign.
we are going to have a great time, sing Wiggles music the whole way. And Popcorn Dogs, we have an exclusive interview with Jimmy Flanagan to discuss The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and Midnight Club, as well as The Fall of the House of Usher and the future projects for him and Mike Flanagan. That'll be great. And yeah, he's going to be at Summer Games Done Quick. And,
wow, really?
Yep. And
Wow, cool.
we have an interview with him, which will be wonderful.
Excellent.
I am super excited for this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm very pumped.
I was excited to talk to somebody who has actually succeeded in the film world since I went to film school, and I want to be a writer. So to talk to somebody who's actually made it was very interesting. And then I watched Midnight Mass, and I was like, holy shit, now I'm a fan.
It's not only someone that's made it, it's someone that I respect and
Yeah.
appreciate.
I hear if you cut out their heart and eat it, you gain its power.
I'm not going to do that. I don't think our hotel room...
All right, scratch that.
That was Dahmer.
No.
No, he
No,
only-
who? I guess I don't.
There's
Dahmer
a lot
ate
of
the
cultures that
penises.
believe that. He did, yeah.
It's not funny.
Also, they're rumps.
That's where they came up with the term rump roast.
Was that Dahmer?
That was Dahmer.
Another thing you can credit to Milwaukee.
He loves it.
And yeah, so that's coming up for Popcorn Dogs. And most importantly, though, July is Indie Games Month, where we are going to be playing Don't Starve. We're going
Fantastic game.
to be playing Celeste. We're going to be playing Dredge.
Dredge.
And while this comes out, there will be a vote. No, there won't be. There will be. There will be a vote happening for our fourth game, and it'll either be Doki Doki Literature Club, Tunic, Inscription, or Hotline Miami. Stardew Valley did not make the cut
I understand.
on the Patreon vote. Also, you two didn't even vote on there, so shame on you.
I let the people choose,
Yeah.
You are a person.
but I've never played any of those games. So.
My wife cares very little.
Also, we're going to do a Stardew Valley episode regardless at some point, I have a feeling.
It's just going to happen.
It's just going to happen because I've heard
It's
enough
Stardew
about it.
Valley, yeah.
So yes, when this episode comes out, if you want to vote, it'll be on Twitter, on our Twitter poll. So go vote for which one of those four games
Can
you
you
want us
vote
to play.
for me? Because I don't have one of those.
Yeah, I don't have a Twitter.
Deal with it, bitch.
I
mean,
My vote is Inscription because I've actually been playing that.
I don't know any of these games, so I'll go Inscription.
you played Hotline Miami.
Oh,
Hotline
yeah.
Straight up John Wick 4. Heavily influenced by Hotline Miami
I
for
agree.
a while.
I
No,
know.
no, like, have you seen it?
They all are.
No, there's a whole sequence and the music and everything. And I was like, this is obvious, right? And the creator,
Was he wearing a jacket?
you just got to see it.
Okay, fine. Is it on video?
It's still in theaters. I was able to find a way.
Bradley.
Yo,
Yo,
ho,
and
yo,
a bottle of rum.
Way, hey, 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 bully in the alley.
What do you mean Netflix canceled my sister's subscription in my house? Wait, what? Take us out of here, Tyler.
Oh man! All right. Thank you for listening to Hair of the Dogcast. We are a proud member of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network. Be sure to check out all of those fantastic shows, and a special shout out to our Patreon executive producers, who I don't have memorized.
Brian Ward,
Thank
Killer
you,
Kip,
Brad.
Ryan Christianek, Phil Wright, and Jordan Hoff. We appreciate all of you. I remember your names.
My wife
closed my
supports
laptop.
me.
She's my wife.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
And if you want access to a bunch of episodes early, Elden Dog's way ahead of time, all of the greatest perks in the world, as well as access to our Discord, where you can interact with our wonderful community. We love you all. Check out patreon.com/hairthedogcast. And if you want to find us on Facebook or Instagram or Hair the Dogcast, we are on Twitter @HotDogcast. And we would love to have you join our community. We just recently opened up on Patreon 7-day trials. So if you did 7 or 10-day trials, if you wanted to just check us out for free, just to see what it's about, we'd love to have you there. Pop on. And yeah, that's an option now where you can just have like a free trial. So check it out if you want.
yeah, and
Awesome. I love that.
thank you so much for listening.
I guess thanks, yeah.
Go be the best person you can be.